Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing transmission. This is your host, Mr. BDA. Glad everybody can jump on board. Now you guys know the drill. If you want to join us, go on to Google Hangouts and send us an instant message with the email address that's on top of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. Like I said, your host, Mr. BDA, and alongside with me as always, my co-host, King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Good to have everybody on board. A couple of things going on right now in the boxing world. Quite a few things, actually. Oopsie daisy. I'm breaking up there a little bit. But yeah, we're live here from good old Canada, the true north, the soon-to-be cold north. We're still trying to get the last couple of drops of summer out of it, making the most of it. But in less than a month, we're gonna be experiencing those 8-degree weather. So if you're living in a similar place to Canada in terms of the weather and all that, well, make the most of the summer, because you're gonna have to wait a while before it comes back. And also some of the things you're gonna wait for: big boxing fights. They're all over the place. We got 2 big fights coming up, or 3 if you want to count Joshua versus Povetkin. That's probably going to be a good one as well. And of course, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. And then you have Canelo versus Golovkin, the rematch, which is going to be the main subject of today's topic. Then again, you know how it works here at BDA Boxing. Is we start talking about one thing, next thing you know, we're talking about something else. So hey, we're going to do what we got to do. What are people here in the chat room saying? Shout out to Mr. Coxey, Pavel, the Quags. Gonna do some roasting, says Pavel. He's not gonna be able to hang out tonight. He's just gonna be on the chat room, but not at the hangout. I'm telling you, Pavel's starting to disappoint me, man. When he says roasting, I gotta wonder, who is he going to be roasting? Some poor college girls that he kidnapped? A hot hitchhiker that he kidnapped as well? I don't know. We'll have to ask him next episode. The Quag says it's hot as hell in California. California? What the hell are you doing in California? Get the fuck out of there. As ZE says, PDA, I hope you're not an Alvarez fanboy. What are you talking about? I'm the biggest Alvarez fanboy. I am the I got a tattoo of Alvarez in my asshole. That's how much of a fan. Yeah, what?
I mean, not the asshole. That's what I told the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. But you didn't you omitted the asshole part.
I did.
Yeah. That's because you're an asshole. What do you think of that?
I see.
Alright, now listen. We're going to be talking about this. Bucho, you start off. You've been following this whole Canelo Triple G thing, which a couple of months ago, everybody was saying that we were all tired of the whole fucking shenanigans and we weren't going to watch the fight. Now all of a sudden, everybody wants to talk about the fight.
What have you been going to watch the fight?
I know, but I'm saying people didn't want to watch it a couple of months ago. They were all pissed off with Canelo. Now, here's my question to you. What did Canelo say exactly to Abel Sanchez a couple of days ago?
Well, he basically said that Abel Sanchez doesn't understand what boxing is, because Abel Sanchez keeps saying, "Oh, Canelo ran. You have to stand there and trade with Golovkin." So Canelo said, "Well, he doesn't understand. He calls himself a great trainer, but he doesn't even understand what boxing is." And then he went on to call him basically a dumbass pendejo. If you guys don't know what pendejo means, pendejo is like a dumbass in Spanish, basically.
Now, I don't appreciate that type of language, but again, it's not us saying it. We're just reiterating what Canelo said, right, Pucho?
Oh yeah, of course.
Because it's a family program. I mean, we never talk about dirty stuff. We never swear or anything. Ah, shit! I burned myself. Sorry. Oh yeah, Pavel is sending me a picture of Canelo weighing himself. And I mean, it's a pretty disturbing picture, because the first thing you have to look down. Even whether you're gay or not, you look down and you see him in his tighty whities and he's got his cock out. I mean, come on. I told Pavel, is there any way that you can take off the image from Google Hangouts? Because I'm still looking at it now. I'm gonna close the fucking window, and I'm not even gonna post that shit up front here.
Is that like erect, semi-erect? Or something?
I don't know. He's got like a chopster or something there. Ugh, I don't know what he's sending me that picture for, man.
That's nah.
I'm glad I ate already.
It's on purpose, man.
Oh yeah, I think it's done on purpose. He knows what he's doing. But oh, by the way, we got recognize the Matrix in the house.
don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
The dirty cop.
What?
Yeah, I'm a dirty cop, man.
Oh yeah, the dirty cop. Serpico. That's gonna be your new nickname here.
12-hour shift today?
No kid.
No.
12-hour shift. He's doing overtime.
Yeah, the live stream are gonna be doing.
Oh no. Not today, man. No. We got stuff to do.
I do 12 hours in my sleep.
He can do them upside down. Look, we're talking about what Canelo said to Abel Sanchez, and he called him a pendejo. Pendejo, that's right. Isn't this a sign that Abel Sanchez is doing exactly what he wanted, which is to get under Canelo's skin?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it seems like Abel Sanchez is, more of that. He's more of the talking type. He doesn't, he always says what's on his mind, whether it's good or bad. I think it's always a ploy for him to try to get the fighter distracted, get him to hopefully get him out of his game plan. I don't think it looks like it's working outside the ring. I think when it comes time to fight, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Canelo is replying and saying, right. No, he doesn't know.
It's getting on his nerves.
Exactly.
It's getting on his nerves outside the ring. Let's see if it does inside the ring. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it absolutely is getting under his redhead covered skin. I mean, what do they call the things that freckles? His freckle covered skin. Sanchez is getting under it. If I were Canelo, I would say, listen, you fat fuck. You've never boxed before. You don't know what the fuck you're talking. What did you do in between Terry Norris and Gennady Golovkin? That's what I would have asked Abel Sanchez. Try to give it, because
that's right. He was Terry Norris's trainer. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The mistake Canelo is making is he's falling within Abel Sanchez's words and his
I can hear you, man. You sound all muffled and shit.
Who?
You.
Okay, well, it might...
Yeah, I don't know. You sound like you was underwater.
Jeez Louise. Anyway, how about people in the chat room?
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, guys, remember, you got to remember, when we start the podcast, every once in a while, it's going to sound muffled or something. Don't like, Butcher, stop interrupting. Like, oh, you sound muffled. Like, this shit happens in Google Hangouts. It's going to go away eventually.
Yeah, it happened at the beginning. Now we're in having fucking 10 minutes in, man.
No, we're not 10 minutes in. Shut up. Shut up.
All right.
People in the chat room are saying I sound normal. See? You know who sounds bad? You guys. I think you gotta watch.
No, yeah, I know it's the Hangouts, because when I re-listen to the show, it sounds perfectly fine. But it's over here in the Hangouts that's so fucked.
Yeah, Hangouts. Butcher, we gotta switch over to the YouTube thing that we talked about. The one where you can let more people in and you can... Remember that?
What's it called?
No, the other... You remember you... I don't know what it's called, but anyway, forget about it. We're not gonna talk about this now. But yeah, the whole thing, Canelo, he's falling within Abel Sanchez's world. Instead, he shouldn't have paid attention to what he's saying. But that's how you get Canelo. He has this hot blood inside of him. You can easily get inside his head. Now, whether that's gonna work or not, it's gonna be.
I can't hear shit, man.
You guys really can't hear me.
No, it was really like nothing.
It sounds like you keep going like you're going deeper underwater and you're talking to us.
It sounds like.
All right. Well, I don't. How about now?
Okay.
How about now? Yeah. All right, but people in the chat room say I sound fine, so I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, it's a Hangouts. It's a Hangouts.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna close the Hangouts and I'm gonna start another one. What do you think about that?
Okay. I'll send the links. All right.
Perfect. Okay, all right. Sorry about this, guys, but hey, you know how it is. We gotta do what we gotta do over here. All right. So you see we're having some technical issues. That's what happens with YouTube. What do you want from me? All right. Hold on a second, guys. But yeah, you guys get what I'm saying, right? About Canelo, people always getting under his skin. He punched, what was his name? Archie Solis? Archie Solis. Poor Archie Solis, who weighs like about 115 pounds or something. And Canelo punched him because he thought he was going out with his... he was... what's it called? flirting with his girlfriend or something. I mean, that to me, he punches a guy that he outweighs by about 50 pounds. Nah. And then somebody from Canelo's entourage said, no, it wasn't Canelo, it was me. You know, covering for the motherfucker. That I can't handle. Can't handle it. I'm not gonna have that. So, and then the whole thing. Listen, the whole problem with Canelo is his attitude. The whole fucking point is that when he got caught for clenbuterol, he blamed himself kind of indirectly, and then he started blaming Triple G for bringing it up. De La Hoya too. He's like, oh, why does he keep bringing it up? Well, I don't know. How about the fact that you fuckers cheated? Right? Yeah, they cheated, and that can have dire consequences in a boxing match. That somebody could get seriously hurt. Somebody could go into a coma. Somebody could God forbid, somebody could get killed. But these motherfuckers don't care. They just want to make money. Because he's a fucking, you know what? All his life, Canelo was made fun of in Mexico for being a ginger. So now he's going to take it out on Golovkin? Nah,
it's not going to happen. Out on the world, man.
That's right. And it's not going to happen, Bucho. Not in my world. Not in my town. I'm going to do something about this.
I'm telling you, he was picked up when he was a kid. So, you know, he's one of those bullies that then become cops and then become one of those corrupt cops that are just pushing people around and shit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, here's what people are saying. Theory. The Quack says you guys need to set up a hotline so we can all call in from time to time. Yeah, we're working on that. We're absolutely working on it. Falpo says he's got that ginger blood. It's volatile. Pavel says, for your information, BDA isn't my basement. What? All right. All right, so everybody's talking about it. Looks like it's working. Mr. Cox says from Triple G's side. Yeah, they're getting under his head. Now, Bucho, the question is this tactic going to work? Is getting under Canelo's freckle-covered skin, is that going to affect the way he fights?
No, because Golovkin still has the power, and that's going to put you back in your place, you know what I mean? Once he feels the power, once Canelo feels the power, he's going to go back to what he has to do. He's not going to go nuts and go start trading. I don't care how fucking pissed off he is, he won't do it.
Well, there you go. I mean, I don't know. Now, here's I wanted to save this for as we got closer to the fight, but hey, we're going to have tons of time to talk, so let's just get right into it. All right, we got Recognize the Matrix back. Recognize, can you hear me correctly?
I hear you fine.
Fantastic, and I hear you fine, so I think we're all going to get along. Like I was saying. Yeah, exactly, absolutely. I don't think... Bucho, the last time remember when Marquez was going to fight Pacquiao the fourth time? And there was a weird vibe going into the fight because those guys had fought each other 3 times already. They had been razor-close decisions. And they both knew that they had to end the fight before the 12 rounds, before the distance, in order to finally
And I predicted a knockout, man.
That's right. Keep giving yourself credit there, buddy boy. But what I'm trying to get at is, do you get the sense of vibe coming into this fight?
Yep. I don't know why, man. I have this vibe something weird is going to happen. Maybe Golovkin gets stopped or something, man. I don't know. Something weird is going to happen, for sure.
I was thinking the same thing, too. I was thinking that this fight, something weird is going to happen. Somebody's going to get dropped. Something. I think more than likely, I think Canelo's going to get dropped. And I think he'll get back up from it. Some weird shit like that. And
yeah,
I feel that whoever wins, especially if Golovkin wins, if Golovkin beats Canelo by stoppage, it's gonna be a performance by Canelo where it doesn't hurt his stock for whatever reason. You know, it's not gonna hurt him. It's gonna be one of those, yeah. Always had a feeling this fight's gonna be there's gonna be 3 fights. I mean, I can remember De La Hoya talking about it for a long time, even before they got in the ring for the first time. So it's like, imagine this is a really good fight. Imagine this is like, it turns out to be a really good fight. Let's say whoever wins. Let's say Golovkin wins, right? Because I think that's the better scenario for a third fight. Let's say if Golovkin wins, it's going to be you as a boxing fan are going to say, yeah, I want to see a third fight, because you're going to think that Canelo did good enough that the fight warrants a third fight. I don't see a blowout. I mean, anything can happen, and I understand that, but no, I don't. Whoever wins is gonna earn themselves a third fight.
Now, Butcher, you said, and recognize too, somebody's getting hurt in this fight. It would appear that the guy who might get, because Golovkin, in the first fight, he was coming forward, but he was being a bit tentative as well. But he always kept that chin tucked in. He was, the punches were sliding off his forehead or off his shoulders. He barely got clean in the fight. Canelo just couldn't land on his slippery ass head, and even the body. So I don't really see Golovkin getting stunned or dropped in this one. If anything, maybe but then, and again, Canelo has a hell of a chin thanks to the thick neck of his, which is probably got that way thanks to some, clenbuterol or something. I don't know. But he can take a good punch. But if anybody is about to get dropped or stunned, it might be Canelo, right? And not Golovkin.
Yeah, that's my feeling. I think it's more likely if anybody's going to get dropped, it's going to be Canelo.
All right, there you go. And by the way, we got a bunch of new, people coming in. We got Pavel and Stu on the line. So let's start with, let's start with Stu.
I wasn't bad though.
I told you what's going to happen with Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
All those things were going to happen, and they did.
And we also have Pavel on the line, and he's got a new intro as well.
Antisocial personality disorder. Behaviorally is someone who does not have a conscience, does not have remorse, does not feel a sense of guilt.
This man's dangerous. He is dangerous.
All right, so
I like that.
First,
I kind of wish
Michael
I had
Stock.
that one, man.
Yeah,
I
Michael
was gonna
Stock.
work on it, man.
All right, hold on a second. Michael Stock just made a contribution. Thank you very much. Michael is going to get us one step further to getting that call-in show off the ground. And so, yeah, want to again thank you, Michael. You're making our dreams come true here, and you're part of the BDA army for sure. We got Pavel and Stu on the line, guys. Thank you for being on.
What's happening?
Good.
Oh, what's up? Thank you for the intro, by the way. It was beautiful.
That's all. Thanks. Glad you liked it. Glad you liked it. You want me to play it again? Because I don't know if people heard it because of the...
Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
no, whatever.
Go ahead.
No, next time. I think Butcher, for some reason, he doesn't want to. Michael says...
I can hear Darth Vader in the background. What's going on?
Yeah.
You guys
Like
see
Yeah,
mute yourself, man.
recognize.
Everybody mute. Yeah, it's recognized. I don't know where you are.
He's in a boiler room or something. Are you working maintenance or?
That's the AC. That's the AC where I'm at.
Oh, the goddamn AC. Yeah, it'll do that. It'll do that for sure. Okay, let's read a couple of comments here. First of all, Michael says, no problem, guys. BDA is life, so you deserve it. That's right, BDA, get on the train, because this ride never ends, baby. Uncle Burnt apostrophe says, I hope Canelo gets Hopkins. Michael Stock says, BDA podcast on a UK-friendly time. Fantastic. Z says, BDA, what do you say about the judges and the referees that they picked? Oh, that's right. They already made the picks, apparently, for the judges that are going to be on. First of all, who was it that had some choice words for Tony Weeks? I think was it Canelo that said that Tony Weeks doesn't know shit about refereeing?
No, it was Tom Loeffler.
Oh, Tom Loeffler.
Oh.
My goodness gracious.
Wow.
That's very disrespectful, by the way.
Words?
No, he didn't say that. Like,
say Tom
Like,
Loeffler.
I think I've read that he insisted that Tony Weeks shouldn't be a referee in this fight.
yeah.
And he called him the N-word, right? Didn't he call him the N-word?
Yeah, he said. I think he did. I think he said.
Yeah, I think he said.
Fucking doing the refereeing. This guy.
He said that 30. All right, but here are the referees. I mean, the judges, guys. We're gonna have Glenn Feldman, Dave Moretti, who was a judge in the first fight, and everybody's favorite Steve Weisfeld, who tried to replace Letterman a couple of years ago on HBO, and for some reason they didn't keep bringing him back. Just for your information, Dave.
Who's gonna fuck it up?
Well, Dave Moretti is the one that had it 115, 113 for Golovkin, so he had it right, more or less, unless he's the one that fucks up.
He might be the one that fucks it up this time.
Why is Phil's gonna give it a draw? And who's the other one?
Glenn Feldman from Connecticut.
Glenn Feldman.
I think Dave Moretti actually gave 115 to 113 to Triple G in their first fight. So I don't know.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I always forget which judge it was, but there was one judge. Oh, it was. I don't think it was Glenn Moretti. It was the one that had a draw. What was his name? Don Trella had it 6 rounds apiece. He's the one that there's a theory out there.
As long as it ain't that cum dumps, fucking Adelaide Bird.
Oh, now wait a minute. You can't talk about a woman like that. You can't talk about a woman like that. Here at BDA, we respect women, even if they are cunts. And here's the thing. You have to keep in mind that Don Trella, the guy who had a 114, if I remember correctly, this is what Victor Atkinson told us, that judge actually gave Canelo 1 round, which Triple G clearly won, and that's what made it 114. So if anything, it seems like the Adelaide Bird card was so sensational over the top in order to distract people from what Trella actually did, which was actually worse, because he was giving Golovkin, he was taking rounds away from Golovkin, and that ended up making it a draw. And they were ridiculous rounds, apparently, and that in a way was worse than what Bird did. So
I mean, this is the only sport where this shit can happen, man. I mean, where the judges can do whatever they want without impunity. Like, you know what I mean? Like they
It's
cannot...
a joke, man. It's a joke, yeah. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, Bucho, but it's just a joke. Bucho's right. This is the only sport that you can do that, and everybody just says, "Oh, it's boxing."
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, the casual fans are like, "Yeah, it's boxing. It sucks." We're the only ones that are just like, "Yeah, you know, it's boxing. It's part of the game."
That's right.
There's no oversight. You know what I mean? No. Like fucking TF saying, "There's no oversight. There's no oversight."
Each camp should be able to pick a judge, and then say if it's
you know something, Stu.
They choose the other one, because you know someone's got. Oh, everyone's dropped off. Someone's got to change it. You know, you can't have someone like Canelo just dictating who the judges are, and you'll get it in the Anthony Joshua fights. You know, where I'm sure Eddie Hearn is picking his favourite judges. I mean, have you noticed Terry O'Connor? I forgot his name. You know, it's Terry O'Connor who stopped Groves prematurely, isn't it? You know, the Fox Groves fight.
First time.
Who's the ref? Yeah.
With obviously you're talking about Frotch.
Not Terry O'Connor. Who is it? I forgot his name now.
Yeah, I know. But did you think that was a quick stoppage in your opinion?
But he's on every matchroom card. I forgot his name. Sorry, because it's fucking late and I just forgot his name. Yeah, I think that was premature stoppage. I mean, that's why there was a rematch.
Yeah, I mean, I thought. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I thought he was in a little bit of a trouble. He was in some trouble though. But yeah, the fight was premature stopped, and then obviously he earned the second one.
Yeah, Shelton in the chat room.
Someone in the chat tell me who the judge was, and the referee who stopped Groves in the first fight prematurely.
I think Michael Sox is...
Somebody said John Lewis. John Lewis?
I don't think it was him, no. It wasn't him. But by the way, Shelton in the chat room says Don's scorecard was the worst because he gave Canelo round 7.
Thank you, Howard Foster, that's the one. He's on every matchroom card. He's Eddie Hearn's go-to referee.
Right.
he's Eddie Hearn's guy, right? Like he's the guy that does the dirty work.
He's the go-to ref.
This is what pisses me off is that these promoters, they, you know, it's so obvious. Like, okay, you brought up Eddie Hearn and the guy Howard Foster, I believe that's his name. They got these, you know, they got these like special referees, these special judges. Like, you got to me, if there's a way, you got to stop that. It's like, no, you guys don't pick out no judges. We do. Mm-hmm. You know, we pick out the judges, and that's it. And even then, look, I know that could be, you could fuck around with that as well, right? I mean, if you're in Nevada and you see one fight is more valuable than the other, you can still, you know, with Nevada saying none of you guys are involved in picking the judges, you can still see where they could fuck with that if they wanted to. But at least it gives it, you know, more credibility, where you got referees and judges that are involved in every, like Stu was saying, in every one of these events that are being promoted by certain promoters, and they're either the referees or they're judging a fight. I hate that shit. That's what gives boxing such a, you know, if somebody was to delve into it and do their research, it'd make them stay away from boxing even more. It's like, nah, this is just a corrupt sport. That's all it is.
Well, there's too much money, man. There's too much money involved for it to change right off the bat. And this begs the question. Last episode we were talking about Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. It's going to take place probably in the United States. So more or less that's going to favor Wilder. Then you have this Golovkin-Canelo fight where in the first fight everybody called it. They knew Golovkin wasn't getting the decision. So this begs the question. And then we got Joshua Povetkin probably expecting more shenanigans there. This begs the question, why are we looking forward to these fights if we know that they're not on an even playing field?
I'm looking forward to it because I always know that there's, like, let's take Povetkin and Anthony Joshua. I think that Povetkin is good enough to win through.
All right, yes, because Foul Pole.
I feel like I'm in Rocky IV, you know.
Foul Pole just donated, made a generous contribution. Shout out to Foul Pole, thanks a lot. You are bringing us closer to getting that call-in show off the ground, guys. You're making this fucking BDA planet turn. Keep on turning it. All right, sorry about that, Stu. I recognize. Keep on keeping on.
Yeah, no, I was just the reason why I'm interested in watching these fights. Look, as a boxing fan, I know this is gonna sound weird, but even with these fucked up calls that happen, even with like the weirdest shit, it's like I want to see it. I'm not saying that I want to see it. I want it to happen. I just want to see if there's gonna be, like, I want to be a witness to the bullshit. If the bullshit happens, right? I want to be like, what the, you know, so that way I could come on here and we could talk about it, right? You know, so
right.
you could give your point of view. But as a boxing fan, of course, I want to see a clean fight. Always that good chance. You know, there's always that good chance there's going to be a clean fight. It's not going to be some bullshit, you know, regardless if the fight is close. And I may have thought, like, hypothetically speaking, I may have thought that Povetkin pulled off the fight, you know, but they give it to Anthony Joshua. But there's always that chance that a guy like Alexander Povetkin could pull off, regardless with the fight being, you know, stacked against him. He can still, and when I say stacked against him, I just mean like scorecards, man. I'm not talking about, you know, the people think that, you know, oh no, we're rigging the fight. That means you're saying Povetkin is a part of it. No, they don't need Povetkin a part of it. Actually, it's in their best interest to keep him out of it. Okay, that's how you do it. You know, you get the fight. The fight's close. You give the fight to the guy you want to win. That's it. You know, or if you give favorable. You know, what looks like to be, even if it looks a little suspect, you give favorable calls in the fight to the fighter you want to win. So I'm sorry, Stu. Go ahead.
Oh no, go on, bro. Go on.
No, that was it. That was my rant.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Stu's gonna say something, but yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm still gonna watch the fight myself. But what I mean, it's starting to get stuck in the back of my mind about this whole thing. About, well, why am I watching these fights? Yeah, that there's obviously not everything is corrupted and already scripted, but it does seem that way. I don't know why I'm starting to think that way. This
the beautiful thing about boxing, though, is as corrupt as it is, there's one thing that takes all the corruption out, and that's a knockout.
Knockout. That's right. That's right.
Knockout, bro. If you knock someone out, there's nothing they can do. They can't bring the guy back to life and say, carry on fighting. You know, this is why these fighters, I think they can pop shot their way to points wins, travel across the you know, travel across to Europe and pop shot their weight of fucking points when it's not going to happen. Just like the European fighters that go to America think they can fucking hold and, you know, and pop shot their weight. It's just not going to happen. Just go for the fucking KO and all that corruption goes out the window. Because this is the problem. If you haven't got punching power, the likelihood is you're going to get robbed once in your career. I mean, Golovkin's one of the biggest punchers in boxing and he's already been robbed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So can you imagine the guys that can't punch? You know, this is a sport now where you really do need to have a bit of pop in your shots. You really do need to go for the KO. Unless you really dominate like a real domination, like a Kawasaki, Jeff Lacey domination, you can't give the rounds to Lacey.
That's
you
right.
Right. If you're not gonna out punch your man, fucking, you know, 10-1, like Kawasaki did. Or you got to do what Corey Sanders, you know, did to Vladimir Klitschko. You know, this goal. I'm not saying that they had to fight fixed, but although I wouldn't doubt it, right? Because Corey Sanders was not a marketable guy at that point. You know, you got to do one of those. It's so true what Stu said. Boxing is a sport. You should be investing in power, man. Power should be something that you have. Because it can bail you out. It can bail you. First of all, you need power because the longer the fight goes, the more in danger you are.
Yeah,
I mean that's just a fact.
These fighters have a couple of rounds off, right? You have a couple of rounds off, you lose them rounds, and then there's 2 tight rounds, you know, swing rounds, and you could be easily robbed because the refs could say, well, I thought he won this round and that round, and they've got an excuse. But when you're beating them 10 rounds to 2 or 11-1, there is no excuse. They can't, like a Kawasaki Lacey, like I said before, they can't give the rounds to Lacey, and that's how you have to be, or knock the guy out. Simple as it's a sad affairs where you can't use your boxing skills and get a points win, but it's just how it is in boxing, mate. When you're going to someone's backyard, you better bring the KO, or you better dominate that guy from start to finish.
Now, I want to get to. Oh, hold on a second. We got another donation coming in through the pipeline, and that means more Rocky 3 paraphernalia. Hold on, Butcher. Is this normal? Right? Like there's a delay.
Yeah.
And
what's
yeah. And by the
currency? Where are you from,
what is it?
Mr. Coxie?
There you go. What the hell is a HUF? Isn't that a radio signal? Oh no, that's UHF. What the hell is HUF? Pesos? Boxing tells us it's pesos. But I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, Mr. Coxie, thanks a lot. You're one of our loyal listeners, so we appreciate it, and hope you come by on the show one day. I think he came by one time on the Hangout. But you know, some people come in and they don't stick around. I think they prefer to listen. And speaking of listening and coming on the Hangout, we have Apology Man on the line, so let's go with his intro.
Speak of the devil, and it shall appear.
She just wanted the drama and you two to fight with her. That's what women do. all of you.
Bitches are stupid. I treat them like shit. That's how you get one to eat a dick. Never be sweet to a bitch.
All right, so there we have Apology. Apology, how's the MGTOW life going for you?
Cool. I'm starting university soon, so that should be interesting.
Well, look at you. What are you majoring in?
Probably sports science.
Oh, like sports science.
Nutrition, coaching, like the psychological side of it.
Apology. Nice. What are you going to do?
What
are you going to do with all them sexy women there when one comes?
When one comes up to you,
what are you going to say? Sorry, love, I'm a MGTOW.
I should try to control myself.
He's gonna make us sign a contract that nothing happened.
He's not gonna be able to control himself.
He's gonna be walking around like Buster Gonad and inflexible large testicles. Remember from the beat.
Now I predict within the first 2 months and the first party he goes to, he's gonna be knee deep in some hot pussy, and he's gonna forget all about this whole MGTOW shit forever.
Come on, pimp, man.
Yeah, he's gonna
come on the show. He's gonna come on the show and tell us about his experience, and he's gonna be a dad soon. And
everyone has their breaking point, so I don't think I'll survive.
What was that?
Apology, man. You're one blowjob away from being a MGTOW, so.
Yeah, exactly.
This is gonna be apology, man. The first day in campus when he's gonna be surrounded by hot women. This is gonna be his reaction.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, he can smell the MGTOW ideology rolling away, and this is him talking to the women in his class.
Respect the cock.
Oh, I think you're gonna be slinging dick, man. You're gonna be slinging dick there.
BDA, that's me talking to the teachers.
That's all right. So listen, we're talking about Canelo and Triple G, the rematch that a lot of people didn't want to see happen in May, and now all of a sudden everybody's looking forward to it again. Bucho was saying that he has a feeling, bit of a feeling, that there's gonna be somebody getting hurt. That it's gonna be a more entertaining fight than the first one. My question to you guys is: do you think? Because I don't know if you heard what happened, but Abel Sanchez is really getting under Canelo's skin about the whole running thing. Do you think this is gonna change Canelo's approach to the fight, or is he too much of a professional to let it get in his way?
I didn't think he ran. I don't get the running thing. All right, he had to fight on the back foot. He had a monster coming at him for 12 rounds. He's just walking through his shots, you know, constantly cutting off the ring. I mean, it's not running to get away from. I suppose sometimes you have to run a little bit to get away from Golovkin because he cuts down the ring so well. But I wouldn't say Canelo was running. He hasn't got the footwork to do it for a start. I thought a lot. I thought a lot of it was clever boxing. I thought he defensively very, but he just didn't do enough in the end of the day. He didn't do enough, so he lost the fight. But let's not pretend he was running away from Golovkin and not clocking Golovkin in the chin, because he hit Golovkin plenty of times with clean shots. So yeah, I thought it was a good performance from Canelo. I just thought Golovkin's strength and will to win was just a bit too much for him. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
he didn't run like Erislan Lara or anything like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He was inactive for big chunks of the fight. That's why he lost the fight, in my opinion. He was very inactive.
Danny Jacobs ran a lot more than Canelo did.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't Triple G make run? Like, that's one of his specialties.
Well, I think, like I said, I think you have to run to get away from him, because you can't just use basic footwork to get away from this guy, because the size of him, for a start, he fucking fills half the ring up, and the way he cuts it off as well, and he's throwing punches with mean intentions to take your head off with every shot. He's a clever fighter as well. He knows how to. He's a real handful, Golovkin. So to say Canelo ran, I think it's a bit harsh. I think that's the best full performance I've ever seen. Well, that's the best performance I've seen at the moment. That's for sure.
He just backpedaled. That's what happened.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, what's Canelo gonna do? Stand and trade with him? That's the knockout
He's
win.
gonna get knocked out. You saw what happened with Martin Murray. Martin Murray was trying to not give up ground, and you saw what happened there.
Yeah, he got busted up, and that's again.
Beat the shit out of him.
I mean, look what happened to Rubio as well.
Yeah, that's true. Rubio got out of there quicker.
Yeah, sluggers like Rubio and David Lemieux, when those guys back up against Golovkin, you know that means Golovkin is putting the hurt on. Now, here's the other thing.
They're getting hurt, yeah.
Yeah, what I liked was Canelo in the first Golovkin fight. He started off the first 2 rounds strong. Like, he was throwing combinations, trying to let Golovkin know, listen, I'm the one that's going to hurt you in this fight, not you, not vice versa. But then he couldn't maintain that pace, and by the 4th he was, you know, chugging air and backing up. He has to work on that stamina, because if he could only keep up what he did in those first 3 rounds, then it would be a better fight for him. But it was the inactivity that cost him more than anything else. So do you think the fact that he seems to appear to be a little leaner this time coming into the fight, or at least that's what I saw in one photograph, I don't know if that's the case anymore, but do you think he's trying to slim down to conserve more energy this time?
Could be, but I think like one of our panelists said before, I don't remember who it was, they were saying that they think that, you know, that could also hurt him in terms of taking punches, you know, like absorbing the punches that he's going to get hit with by Golovkin. So yeah, on one hand it can give him more, because he did look like he I saw him a lot of times, you know, one of the signs of a guy who works out a lot, when they start hitting the floor, they with their arms, like they breathe and they come back up and they're breathing hard in and out. They're taking like deep breaths and they're breathing really hard. He did that a lot in that fight. He did that a lot, like a guy who worked out too much and was losing oxygen. You know what I'm saying? Like mobility and stuff like that. So he could be trying to get slimmer in terms of, like, you know, giving himself energy, or that's at least the goal, to give himself more energy to continue to fight. But at the same time, that could also hurt him because Golovkin could hit him with a shot, maybe not right away, right? Because we know Canelo has a good chin, but start hitting him with shots that later on actually does break him down.
Right, right. But that's
I can't accept when people say that Canelo's a coward and things like that. I mean, this guy's fighting Golovkin for a second time. I mean,
he's no coward. He's not a coward.
Listen, if I was Canelo, I would have run off to the fucking sunset, mate, with my draw and been happy with it. Do you know what I mean? Why would I want to fight that guy again? If anyone says, "Well, why you do?" I've already fought him and I got a draw. You could say that.
But that's one point of view. That's one point of view.
So much credit.
Yeah, but that's one point of view. The flip side is, it's like Bas Rutten always says, if you're doing steroids, it's because you're a coward, because you want to get an advantage over the other guy. So wouldn't that apply to Canelo in this scenario, that he's cheating, and he's cheating because he knows that deep down inside he can't beat some of the guys he's fought, or at least Golovkin.
I don't think he's taking steroids because he's a coward. I just think he's taking steroids because I don't think he's a middleweight, mate. I think he's actually. You can see the size of him now. He just doesn't look a middleweight anymore. And I think he was beefing up to try and compete with Golovkin for strength.
He don't have the height to be a middleweight.
He's cheating. Don't get me wrong. He's a cheat. He's a fucking cheat. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to sit here and back him. But I'm just saying, I don't think he did it to cheat with Golovkin. I think he did it because he knew he couldn't compete with Golovkin unless he did do the roids. I mean, look, he's not a middleweight, mate. He's not.
And by the way, can I just say something here to defend myself? Because I know there's going to be people, when I was doing the like a video criticizing Canelo, and people call me, obviously, they always say the same thing, Canelo hater. I'm a Canelo hater. Well, what am I supposed to do when somebody does something bad? Am I supposed to just overlook it the way Deloy and Canelo want to? And, oh yeah, it never happened? Or are we supposed to call a spade and say, listen, this guy cheated. He's you know, that's a bad thing right there. Let's criticize him.
Yeah, and calling also Golovkin lovers. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like,
well, that's it. Then when we, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the thing is, the only time it's cheating to me, man, is if you can point me to, if Canelo is purposely trying to, if Canelo's purposely trying to stop his opponents from using and while he's taking, to me that's cheating. Then you're cheating. But if you get caught using something, I just see it as you got caught. You're a drug user. That's it. I don't see it as you're actually a cheater. Like you know, I'm gonna take your achievements away. The way I look at Floyd Mayweather, right? I look at him a little different now because now I know why. I had a feeling that that's what he was doing it for. But when the whole fiasco with Pacquiao happened, then it gave me confirmation. Now it gave me confirmation. Now I know exactly what he was doing. See, to me, that's a cheater. That's a cheater, a guy who's stopping you while he's going under the radar and doing whatever it is that he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like cyclists, they're all cheating, but the one just gets caught one at a time.
Yeah.
Exactly. And people in track and field too.
I'll just respond to someone in the chat because he wants to know what I mean by Canelo's not a middleweight when he puts on 20 pounds overnight. What I mean by the frame of a middleweight, the reach, the size. All right, I mean I could get a 5'3" man, and he could be a middleweight, but he's going to be 5'3" wide. Do you know what I mean? It's the frame, it's the reach. You guys that know boxing know what I'm talking about when you
the bone structure as well. Look at the neck. You know, look at his fucking neck. I mean,
yeah, he's a wide guy, but I just don't. I think with his attributes, I don't think he's because there's some big middleweights in there. Look at Jacobs, the fucking size of him. I mean, do you know what I mean? I just don't think Canelo.
Isn't he smaller than Charlo's? One of them was that light middleweight, or the same size.
Who's that?
Canelo, you're on about?
Yeah, Canelo. They're about Charlo's bigger than him, right?
Oh yeah,
Frame-wise,
both of them, right?
Yeah.
Both Charlos are bigger than him. Both.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's Jared Hurd, they're much bigger. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Jared Hurd is obviously bigger than him for sure.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, he's the biggest one.
Fucking Jaime Munguia is bigger than Canelo.
Yeah, Canelo. That's what I'm saying. Canelo is a small guy in that division. He might have the weight because, like Butcher said, he's a very stocky guy, big wide neck. He's a lump. He's a lump, but his attributes don't suit middleweight. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, Nicola Ferrari in the chat room says cheating is weaponizing drug testing, like Floyd did for years. Use every PED around while making sure the opponents are crazy tested.
Yep.
That's the problem with drug testing. He says, get rid of it.
Yep,
exactly, man.
I agree with that.
Good point.
Because one guy gets allowed.
That's cheating right there. What happened with Floyd? That's cheating. That's the very definition of I'm cheating. I'm actually getting an advantage over you in the ring. Because I think Floyd was finished. He was finished already. From the time when he retired, the first time when he retired the first time. I think that he was sort of finished mentally, you know. So he needed a mental edge in the fight. Like, okay, drug testing, I could do what I want. You know what I'm saying? The person can. It was a big money ploy. It was a money ploy, and he was able to pull it off until the end, right? And so he started. There was rumors that this was happening before it happened. Remember, there was like all these reports that was coming out that apparently Floyd Mayweather had some very suspicious testing that should have called for red flags that should have called for his B samples to be tested, and then obviously what happened with the Manny Pacquiao fight.
Well, right? Recognize do you remember he used to wear winning gloves back in the mid 2000s, where for anybody that doesn't know, the winning gloves are considered the most soft gloves, the softer gloves out there. The padding is mostly featured on the front, which means it's there to protect your hands. He used to wear those gloves, and during the Hatton Mayweather 24/7, he was complaining about how he didn't have that many more fights in him. His body was breaking down. His hands were all busted up. Yeah. And then he knocks out Hatton and he retires. He goes on into concerts. He goes into the WWE. He's talking about diversifying and getting away from boxing. All of a sudden, I think he realized, oh shit, the money's not coming in the way it used to anymore. Let me go get back to boxing. All of a sudden, he's fighting with grand gloves, which not winning gloves anymore, and he's looking more cut and ripped than before. I mean, that to me is a major red flag. So I think you make a very good point to recognize about how. Yeah. This all started post-retirement.
It started post.
You see the size of Floyd against Conor McGregor. He was got 40 years old. He was ripped from.
Yeah, especially his abdomen.
Exactly, his abs. That's a giveaway, man.
Yeah, the abs are always the giveaway because that's if a man ever wants to be the strongest he can ever be, you got to work out your core. You work out your legs and you work out your core. That's what you get. For anybody who's working out, take my advice on this. Work out your core, work out your legs. You'll be the strongest you can ever be. That was the death giveaway right there. When I was checking out those abs and it was unreal. But there was other guys that were at least on YouTube that were able to point that out, like Fight Scout. The mosquito bites. They look like mosquito bites. That part I didn't know, but the abs was always a dead giveaway. Like when they're fucking ripped all over the place, you got abs on top of abs. That's listen, I got abs, but I don't got fucking abs on top of abs.
Yeah, I mean,
even if you want to give Floyd a benefit of the doubt and say, okay, he has those abs because he trained 3 times a day, but how possible it is for a guy who is coming to his 40s to train 3 times a day on a frequent matter?
It's not possible. Yeah, that's not without something.
You just got to go and look at Vitor Belfort. I mean, the shape that guy was in when he comes, and now you look at him. He's got Tyson Fury body, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So you could tell the peds when someone's fucking rinsing the peds, you can see it. The abs put it away. Do you know what I mean? And Vitor Belfort is a prime poster boy for a guy that takes peds. And then as soon as he stopped taking the peds because he was getting tested, the performances started going down. The shape of him started to change. and he became human again, and he was getting, well, this guy was fucking knocking people out with head kicks and all sorts, weren't he, in the first round, you know.
Brock Lesnar is gonna be fighting in the UFC, so you look at him at the WWE, and right now he's losing muscle mass because he's getting ready to go to UFC. He also wanna get caught again, so you can see he's off the whatever he's fucking taking, and his body's changing, man. His body's fucking changing.
And the thing with Floyd is there was no fat at all, and if you look at Brock Lesnar, you can see some fat because he's losing the muscle and he's not on PEDs anymore.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, sorry. Before we get Abstract, you've been waiting there. Sorry, man.
No, no drama, man. I'm enjoying listening. I only just jumped on anyway, guys. How you all doing? All right.
So
Yep. You can jump in at any time. Sorry, apology. I think I cut you off, man.
Oh yeah, just to get back onto UFC quickly again. It's no surprise that the performances and the fighters coming through the UFC are not like they used to be. I mean, as soon as the steroid testing came in, the standards started to drop massively, sort of thing. And I think boxing, we're soon going to find out who the PED users are, because, like I said, when there's strict testing involved, you'll see from the performances and from how they look. I mean, look, Canelo, now he's off the PEDs, looks a different guy. It looks like he's gave birth to some little baby, and you know, he's fighting Golovkin instead.
Elwood is another example, isn't he? With his like 10-pack, he's got like fucking, you know, some people have a 6-pack. He's got like a 6-pack, and then he's got like another 4-pack on top of it.
He's got bitch tits as well.
That guy's not on PED, is he? Like, you know. Can I just say something? I've got to disagree a little bit with Stu there about Canelo not being a middleweight. I mean, I think it's only really in height. I mean, if you look at Canelo's reach, he's actually got ½ inch. I mean, if you believe the stats, he's actually got a ½ inch longer reach than both Triple G and David Lemieux, who are, you know, everybody accepts as being middleweights. I'd say Triple G's, you know, as close to a natural middleweight as you're probably going to get. He's not a big middleweight, but he's a natural middleweight. I mean, Canelo is like, you know, he's a little bit shorter than those guys and whatnot, but he makes up for it in how broad he is. And I know, you know, that probably was PEDs and everything, but that guy, I mean, like, if you look at how he looked on the scales at 154, I mean, if he's not a 154 fighter, then he's a middleweight. I mean, he is a middleweight for me.
That was a 154 fighter on PEDs. That's the point. He when he's on PEDs, he did look.
Well, I think
big, but he's still. It's hard to explain what a natural middleweight is.
Stu, I think I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
he's a guy that if he conditioned himself, it would serve him better with his height and dimensions to fight at 154, even welterweight.
Yeah.
He's a middleweight. Don't get me wrong. He's a middleweight without a doubt. Abstract. Like I agree with you on that. Like he's putting on that weight. It's even becoming natural. That means he doesn't have to eat more. He doesn't have to do anything more. But if he was to discipline himself from the beginning, what Stu is saying, that he has the dimensions and the heights, he should have been like, in my opinion, he should be a welterweight.
Yeah, because you give away so many attributes in a fight when he's fighting at middleweight. He's giving away. I mean, these guys are a lot.
I agree with that, and it's going to affect him in the long run as well. You look at a guy like David Haye. David Haye was never a fucking heavyweight, you know. And I don't know if any of you guys saw Hatman's video when Haye retired, and because Hatman used to spar at Fitzroy Lodge, which one of my family members actually trained there. And that was where David Haye sort of like started out at Fitzroy Lodge in London. And apparently David Haye, like, even then when he was like, you know, he wasn't even a cruiserweight then, had this obsession with sort of like, I want to be a heavyweight, got to make it to heavyweight. Yeah. And that was why he hit the weights and whatnot. And that's why, I mean, it's one of the reasons, not the only reason, but I believe it's one of the reasons why in these later years, his body just started to disintegrate and stuff, because he just over sort of like worked himself and stuff.
I think I'll gotta give my take on that. I think Canelo is in process of growing into a truly sized middleweight as far as he ages. But like in his prime years, which I think they are right now, the thing about Canelo is that naturally he has wide clavicle bones, and that means that he has naturally wide shoulders, and that allows him to have that high ceiling of putting a large amount of muscle mass, especially like proportionally speaking. If you look at his waist, for example, it was enormous prior to Triple G fight. I mean, the dude was looking like a tank.
Yeah, his
So
legs as well. He's got
yeah,
chunky, really thick, quite thick legs, like as well.
absolutely. And the thing is, if let's imagine that Canelo was never on PEDs, we would see a totally different guy who could fight at super welterweight comfortably. But I don't think he's that fully fledged middleweight having that, appropriate bone density like Triple G has. It's just, I don't think that's the case with him.
I think a bit like, say, Gassier fight night against Usyk, I think was around 215, I think. And that's what
215.
Yeah, that's what Deontay Wilder weighs in on, isn't it? Sometimes, and if you put Gassiev next to Wilder, although they're the same weight, look at the attributes and the size difference and the frame, and he's at his natural weight where Gassiev's not. If you get what I'm saying, even though Gassiev is 215 pounds, I'm just saying
Wilder's a mystery to me, man.
This is what I'm saying. It's still the heavyweights. He's going to be a small guy in there. You know what I mean? And that's just an example.
A guy like Wilder, a good example. A guy like Wilder, to me, that's a mystery to me. Guy's 6'7", and I think he's legitimately 6'7", maybe 6'6". Maybe they over exaggerate. If they're over exaggerating, it's by 1 inch. I think he's legit 6'7", and I'm saying to myself, how the hell he weighs 215? You know, like he's got, but it's the legs, right? It's
he has no legs.
In the legs. Because if you look at the top, you're saying to yourself, that guy looks like at least 230. You know, at least 230.
Honestly, sorry about that. I'm gonna just say one thing about Wilder. It's the thing is that he looks really out of proportions. I mean, his upper body is enormous compared to his lower body, which is like looking like a fucking scarecrow. I mean,
although lately I think he's been trying to take. Yeah, that's another that's very true. See, because I've obviously look, man. Like all of us, we all go to gyms. Well, I'm not saying all of us, but if you go to gyms long enough, you meet people that take steroids.
Yeah.
If you're talkative, you talk with them. They start telling you the signs, and not only that, you start learning the signs. You start with your own eyes. You can start telling. One of the giveaways of somebody using steroids is when when one part of their body, whether it's the upper or the lower, starts to get out of proportionally big compared to the other one. It's usually the upper part. The upper part is the one that's the first, because it's the easiest part to build up. That's why I say if you want to build maximum strength, and I'm sure a guy like Pavel will know this, you build your core and you build your legs. That's where you're gonna get maximum strength.
You recognize this like sorry to interrupt, man. There's like a clicking sound on your end. Like,
sorry about that. How about now?
No, it's fine.
Okay. That's why I always say to people that if you want to work out, if you want to be your strongest, you work out your legs and you work out your core, your stomach. That's where your body will get its full maximum strength.
In a bit more detail, what actually happens is that adrenal gland releases more human growth hormone naturally if you train the lower body. If you start training from your lower body up to the upper one. So yeah.
Yeah, because when I was younger, I always had pretty big legs, but I just more focused on I was always more focused on my chest, my arms, the easier things to build. But when when it started to become very clear to me, when I would meet certain people that were a little stronger than me, and I realized that they're getting that from their legs and their core, and I started working that out. That's when I became the strongest that I could possibly be.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah, and in terms of size, even though it might sound quite paradoxically, if you train your lower body, you actually rise up your ceiling in terms of even of the size of your upper body
that's right.
because yeah.
Yep. So let's say if you have a V shape, you have a nice V shape. It's gonna blend into your as you go. It's like a Coca-Cola bottle. I hate to use that as but
yeah,
it's like you
like,
go
like Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. Do you see how he had a try? He was
something like that. Yeah.
That is the shape you should thrive to be in. Do you know what I mean? He was definitely on roids during that movie, with that shadow of a doubt. And Stallone must have been fucking putting him in his seat.
Nah, that guy, holy fuck, man.
Stallone was
Ivan Drago.
If
you look at Ivan Drago and Rocky IV, I mean, I think he was a kickboxer at the time as well. I mean, just a perfect physique for a great fighter. I mean, just a man mountain ripped to the fucking eyeballs. And that's how you should be. Where it's like a triangle.
Holyfield as well. Evander Holyfield, he was steroided up to the fucking gills in towards the end of his career, definitely.
You understand how many times
he wasn't even trying to hide what he was doing. I mean, you can see the fucking muscles.
And can you imagine the amount of times
actually he was trying to hide? Did you hear that story about Evan Fields? He shipped the drugs to his address. Yeah, and the name was on the address Evan Fields, Evander Holyfield, Evan Fields. I mean, try to figure that shit out.
He wasn't a bright man. Let's just say that.
And by the way, apology. Are you there? Apology. Calling apology, man. Anyway, this is the type of this is the type of all this physiological talk and all that. This is the type of talk you can either choose that or fuck a bunch of university girls. It's your choice, man. But I think I know what I would go for.
Study for the exam.
I think I'll choose education.
All right, but it's interesting. You guys talked about
apology. You might end up being a very successful man with that mindset. Let's see if you can keep it.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'll try my best.
Once Apologies tasted it, he's going to be like Deontay Wilder with about 5 kids everywhere.
Fuck's sake, man. Yeah, I probably will.
Strangling hookers.
If I talk to you 10 years from now, you got 5 kids.
But it's interesting you guys were talking about the legs, working the legs and all that, because I had read I forget where I read it, but it was about how it increases your testosterone, like some people also said in the chat room, and that if you want to get a girl pregnant, and people are having trouble doing that, they should do more squats. No, I'm telling you, that's what I read, that they should do squats and deadlifts in order to increase their...
I didn't have no issues with that. I started at 18.
I'll tell you what's good. I'll tell you what's good for the guys that are struggling to produce. A Viagra. Apparently, Viagra is like a steroid to the sperm cell. Honestly, it turns them from Andy Ruiz into fucking Usain. Trust me.
Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, I think I did hear
that.
I think I did hear that at some
point. It was very
point.
good for it.
I think I heard that at some point somewhere. I don't know if it's...
Yeah.
I think I did. Or actually, doesn't it? It's because it opens up the blood vessels or something, and it increases cardio at least. I think.
It definitely. Like I said, I didn't know it worked, but trust me.
Right. And by the way, somebody.
One of those things. I don't know if it was Viagra. It was one of those things. I didn't like the way that I felt afterwards. The next day, I had a headache.
I mean, I wonder how much that is to do with the fact that you can just go all night or whatever on that, and you probably firing about 10 fucking loads into it. I wonder how
that's right,
without being too crude.
Yeah, but it's not the amount. It's not the amount that you put in there. It's the quality of the amount.
Yeah,
quality gin.
I think there is some truth to what you say, guys, because my friend he told me he took Cialis, something like that, and he told me that, I mean, his his cock felt like a Louisville Slugger. So
like a Louisville Slugger. And by the way, in the chat room, Azzy asks, "Are we still talking boxing?" This is a classic case of somebody who's never heard the show before. What a sweet kid, young and naive. This show is it's an entertainment show centered around boxing. So we'll talk boxing, and then we'll talk about something else. And if we want to talk boxing again, maybe we'll get around to it. You know, we have no agenda here at BDA Boxing.
He hasn't even heard our other talk. You know, the crazy talk.
Oh, it's
Imagine
coming.
He's gonna freak out, man.
Baby.
Yeah, wait till we get onto politics, man. You'll be hiding in the corner of your bedroom somewhere. Like,
wait until we get to hour 2 of the program. But what we're talking, so the legs. Look at fucking Manny Pacquiao, calves the size of Vladimir Klitschko's biceps, and this guy had some of the most explosive punching power in the world. And I do think that legs have something to do with it. Absolutely.
Look at Prince Nassim Hamed's calves.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
One of the most.
Nas had wicked power. He was. I mean, like, I was a big fan of Nas. I mean, I was a big Nas fan. I thought he was awesome. Like, he was flawed. He was very flawed, but
defensively,
naturally so gifted, man.
Yeah, I mean that's what, because he all them knockouts. That power come from the legs. The unorthodox angles that he'd come from. It always come from low and hit you with a big uppercut or big hook. Most of the power came from them calves, mate. I don't care. And the only reason he didn't get knocked out was because of them calves as well. Because he was defensively horrible. He left himself wide open, and he's been dropped a few times in his career, and he's fucking dropped 6 or 7 times that he got dropped. He was always getting caught because he was sloppy. But he never got knocked out, and I think them legs were half the reason. When you look at Manny Pacquiao's chin, I think them legs are half the reason. Canelo's chin, them legs. That's why when you see Robert Easter Jr. legs and Wilder legs, you're just waiting for him sleeping in the hospital for a week. Do you know what I mean? You just know they're going to get caught eventually.
And it also helped that he was a Muslim and had the backing of the one true God behind him.
Allah Akbar!
Well, see what I was talking about? See what I was talking about?
I don't know where he was when Amir Khan fought Canelo, but he definitely went around, that's for sure.
Nah, I'm obviously kidding. I don't, we respect all...
It's like, sorry about that, it's like Jim Lampley said something during the Barrera Hamed broadcast, something about Allah, and George Foreman just reprimanded him. Oh no, don't say that, don't say that.
Because he said that.
He said
he's part of the establishment. Now he's got his own grill out. He's part of the establishment.
Well, that grill's been out for a long time.
He said Allah must now know how to write Barrera, Barrera, and then George Foreman went like, you should be cool with that.
I think actually he was warning him. He was warning because, George Foreman is black, and so he's probably had his run-ins with the black Muslims or something. So he was probably warning Lampley, listen, they'll come after you, man.
He should go. He should go on British TV with fucking suit that down to the ground, wouldn't he?
We apologize for Stu's language.
Apologise for the language. Apologise for mentioning profits.
We'll have a helpline available at the end for anybody that was seriously affected by anything that Stu said. So there you go.
Yep.
Oh, that's the best one. If you've been affected by what you saw, get the fuck out of here.
You know, Kay Hopkins.
Helpline.
You guys know Kay Hopkins. Someone, she offended someone so bad they called the police right in front of her face.
I know.
I think fat woman. She called her like fat or something.
Well, look at EastEnders, isn't it? That EastEnders, they'll have some guy who gets drunk one night and just misbehaves and ends up getting a slap. If you've been affected by today's show,
links to AA and fucking counselling and Esperanza and every fucking thing.
England has become land of the snowflakes.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, because when I was in rehab, that's one of the things we always talked about, which was that you don't, you got to build your... Okay, Bucho, why are you laughing?
Rehab? What the hell? BDA?
Well, I was in sex. I was in sex rehab because I was a sex addict.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Women used to...
BDA. Are you being serious?
Yeah, BDA is the Michael Douglas of the fucking boxing world.
the Russell Brand of the YTBC. Is that?
Oh, are you calling me a
real?
fag? Is that what you're saying? He's calling me a gay guy. I didn't use the F word, by the way. But no, but listen.
Russell Brand's not gay, man. Russell Brand's
gay, man.
Isn't he like he swings both ways, right? Like my dick.
He's androgynous.
Yeah, he's a weirdo, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's funny.
But he got like Katy Perry when she was prime. So
I tell you what, he looks like a smackhead. He looks like he's had a watch for about 3 years.
He was a smackhead. He was addicted to fucking everything, including sex.
The thing is, he just looks like a complete tramp. He looks like he smells like fucking Grimsby docks on a windy day. Yeah, he gets pussy galore. He gets enough girls. I mean, you got Katy Perry when she was in her prime.
Yeah, that's what apologies said. Yeah.
On fleek.
Yeah, man. Some of the women he's been with, like fucking hell, man. Read like a list of like fucking.
Okay, but we know
sexiest women.
Hey, he's a right lefty gobshite though, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but guys, come on. You're missing the point here. You admitted. You know he used to be a crackhead, right? You just said that he used to be a smackhead, and he's getting all these hot girls. How do you think he's getting them?
Money.
The other thing that comes with money.
Status.
Drugs.
Cocaine, motherfucker. There you go. Thank you, recognize. Drugs. Cocaine, motherfuckers. Yeah. If you want pussy, get yourself some cocaine. You'll have no problem getting women. Trust me on that.
In England, you don't even have to be rich. Just get yourself a gram. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. When I used to work in the industry, back in the mid-90s. Like, I'm telling you, when I used to work...
You could do that over here, like, too, man.
Everywhere. When I used to work in the industry back in the mid-90s, that's all the girls who were performing there. That's coke. Oh, you got any coke? You got any coke? I'll pay you back, BDA. I'll pay you back. Yeah, you got any... Jeez, it was non-stop. But I never used, by the way.
Girls don't have no concept of like they could be getting set up, right? Like they'll come up to me. I'm a bouncer. I'm working at a bounce at this time, right? And they'll come up to me and be like, "Hey, you know what? I get some coke." Like, what if I was a cop? What the fuck? You know?
They don't care.
What if I was a cop? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Come here. Come with me.
Yeah, they don't care, man.
My mate used to sell a bit. He don't do it no more, but he used to tell me about some of the stories with these girls, mate. His way comes to be in his pockets looking for his gear and all sorts.
Oh yeah, it's better for girls actually.
Yeah, I wonder if that's how it's working with the Charlos right now, because you know they're into something at the moment, and I mean.
Well, I mean they're down their hair blonde. I mean, what does that tell you?
Well, listen, they were high probably. And that's how they were hanging around with transvestites, and they got their purse stolen. And I'm talking about the Charlos, by the way, not the transvestites. The transvestites stole the purse. And how do you let a transvestite steal your purse? Because you're high as fuck. Who was the one that said that they had to have been high as fuck? Was it you, Recognize?
I mean, they had to be, because that was the oldest trick. If you look at that,
exactly.
If you look at that whole encounter,
they're just stupid, man.
Yeah.
They're stupid in a room full of people. You don't know who's walking around. Like, it's a jam-packed room. Somebody's just gonna grab it, you know.
You realize a guy stepped up to him, and a guy stepped up to him and started arguing with him. And the girl takes the purse, he's in the male purse, whatever it is, and walks away with it. She walks out with the bag full of money.
Right.
Yeah, they're on PEDs, the Charlos. Them Charlos are on PEDs, man. Look at the aggression at the end of their fights and stuff. Like, they're fucking enraged,
road
man.
rage.
Like,
they got roid.
Yeah.
Wow. Did any see that Radio Raheem interview with Deontay Wilder when he had it out with Wilder about his comments about body bagging people and crippling people? Did you see that?
Yeah. I saw that.
What happened there?
Well, big up to fucking Radio Raheem, because he's the only one that's actually found the bollocks to ask him about it. Radio Raheem actually goes, you know, about your comments and that. He goes, Deontay Wilder goes, "Oh, are you telling me you've not heard worse of things in boxing than that?" And he goes, "To be honest with you, no, mate. I don't think it gets any worse than threatening to kill someone in the ring and crippling them." And Deontay Wilder
Yeah, Wilder's just desperate for publicity and desperate to become a big name, and he will say and do anything to fucking get there. That's all it is with Wilder. You know,
it sounds like a woman.
You know, he's starting to grow on me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I know he can be a piece of shit, but he's starting to. I tell you what, he stopped and give autographs to all them fans. I watched Tyson Fury. One guy come up behind him begging him for autograph, and he basically pushed him aside, saying, "No, I don't want to," sort of thing. Didn't even bother to look him in the eye, sort of thing. Wilder stopped and gave everyone a photo, give everyone a time of day, and I think he's starting to grow on me a little bit.
Oh well, that makes it all better then.
No, I mean, it just doesn't.
But I see what Stu's saying. There's something about him that's starting to grow on me too. I still want to see him get knocked out. But I'm starting to see him. I'm starting to see him as legit. You know, like let's see what.
No, he ain't grown on me at all. He ain't. Sorry to interrupt. He ain't grown on me at all. I can't fucking stand him.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I want to see him get knocked out. I still want to see him get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he's just
I think I want him to get beat more for his fans than I do for him. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know something, Stu. That's what it is.
That's part of it for me, but as well as that, it's the whole these fucking one-liners. I am the baddest man on the planet. One name, one face, and it's all of this shit like fucking all the time. It's like fuck off, man. Like
I know a girl that works for a Spanish station, and she told me that she was part of like getting Deontay Wilder on this Spanish station, and she was telling me that everybody there were like that they liked him. He was super nice. He was funny and easy to ask questions and all that.
He's definitely more of a people's champ, I think, than we give him credit for. I know he can be a piece of shit. Some of the things, I think he's that desperate to get a big fighter, that desperate to be put a name behind him. I think he's willing to say anything retarded to do it.
Well,
he's a sociopath.
No, but it's understandable. It's understandable that Wilder is this desperate because he's being compared constantly with Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua has what Wilder doesn't have, and so I think he's just going nuts. He's like, I'm not getting promoted. I'm gonna have to do it myself, and he's going all fucking crazy.
Well, I can understand what Stu is saying, that Wilder, so far what he said has been despicable, but like I always say, actions speak louder than words. So it could be like you guys are saying, that he's just going nuts because he's frustrated and he's trying way too hard to be this provocative figure. But maybe deep down inside, maybe he is a better people's champ than Tyson Fury, because again, people like Tyson Fury.
It's like that guy who tries too hard to be funny. You know, when someone tries too hard to be funny, they're not funny.
Oh, I know.
Like boxing.
I think it's Wilder. The more he tries, the more it's fouling, sort of thing. I think if he just be himself and not continue to knock people out, then it will happen for him. But I don't think he has to talk about crippling people in front of Brazil's kids and body bagging other guys, and I just don't think there's a need for that. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
I mean, it's the contradicting himself as well. Like if you remember before the Ortiz fight, he's like talking about man to man, father to father. We both have disabled kids, and he's coming across as like all empathetic and everything. And then he's like in the next breath, he's threatening to pretty much just like sort of like just. How would you put it? Sort of like traumatize someone's kid, because like that's what he's essentially saying. If he's saying like, I want to fucking cripple your dad in front of you and all that. I mean, it's like, who are you really? That's my issue with him. It's kind of like he don't seem real to me.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you've got to look at Anthony Joshua. I mean, this guy gets programmed every morning what to say. He just stick a little memory card into his ear hole and put what he needs to say.
But is that bad though?
No, but he's a robot. He's a robot. His press conferences, fucking, I could put a glass eye to sleep, right? There's just no charisma. The guy's got the charisma of a damp rag, Well, he has.
Yeah, but all public figures should have some parameters. But all public figures should have some advisors that tell him, you know, like, you don't say this, don't say that, because you're a public figure. You can't just say whatever you want anymore.
Yeah, but the cigarette in my mouth's got more charisma than Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, that's the.
Look at the pay-per-view numbers. Look, we ask people, even casuals, don't know who Anthony Joshua is. They'll say like, "Oh, he's so sweet. Oh, he's so humble," and da da da. But we all here know that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I know. That's part of the PR campaign. That's a good job that Eddie Hearn's doing. It's a PR move. You know, he's a nice guy. He's a smiling guy. But he's a jerk, man.
Yeah, why do you need some PR or something? Because he's lost. He doesn't know what to be a humble guy.
He's like complete opposite. He's just like wild, man. Like,
yeah,
but that's why.
Okay, guys, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm gonna bail out.
All right, Pavel.
Show, y'all.
Pavel has to go back to.
Yeah, man.
Pavel.
This guy's saying in the chat. This guy's saying in the chat they don't think Wilder's. You know, they think Wilder's putting it on. But I don't know. I think when you speak to fans, lad, it's hard to put it on. Most people can see through it. Most people can see through a liar or when someone's not meaning what they're saying, sort of thing. And I think it came natural to me that what he was doing. So I don't know. I might be wrong.
I mean, I think you could be right. I'm sort of 50-50 on it. I think part of me thinks he's probably just like false and fake. Another part of me thinks he's just fucking dumb. I mean, like Fury's not the. I mean, he's clever when it comes to ring IQ, but when it comes to like fucking regular intelligence, I don't think he's the brightest crayon in the box, is he? To be honest, Fury. He just both of them come across as quite similar characters to me. To be completely honest,
they're very similar. Very similar.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they like each other.
Yeah, but I think Fury's genuinely insane, while Wilder's faking it. That's just my opinion.
I think Wilder's faking the bad boy image. I think, you know, I want to body bag someone, because deep down I don't think Wilder really wants to body bag someone. I think he's just that desperate to get a name out there. You know, he had to beef with Joshua on the internet for 3 or 4 months before people started to know who he was. Let's be real, that's how people in Belfast knew who he was. But because before the beef with Joshua and the build up to that, these guys didn't really know who he was. Some of them would have done. Some of them would have done. But let's not pretend the whole of Belfast knew Deontay Wilder was 6 months ago, because they didn't. No. I think this Joshua beef has built his name up a bit, but like I said, I think the bad boy image is coming across as quite fake. I think he should just be himself.
Yeah, there's no doubt this Anthony Joshua beef has it, you know, built his name. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think that's a big part of why they've done it. I'm not entirely sure that a lot of what they've done hasn't just simply been to build his name, and that really Team Wilder were kind of like didn't really want to put him in with Joshua. I think probably Team Joshua probably didn't either, because it's fucking like it's a big risk, isn't it, for both of them? I think I see that fight as kind of like a Russian roulette thing, like whoever lands first type of thing.
Yeah, and Nicola Ferrari in the chat room says Wilder is creepy, not a nice guy, hurting girls, Zelenov, the brawl with Brazil. He's definitely not the sharpest tool in the shed. You know, the elevator doesn't go all the way up to the.
Okay.
Yeah, the elevator doesn't go all the way up to the last floor, but. He does seem to be genuine. He might be. I mean, I don't know. Listen, there's a difference between being a nice guy and being an idiot, and I think it's the latter. The latter with Wilder. I think he's just an idiot sometimes. He doesn't know how to control himself. I don't think he really intends to go out there and hurt people. But you never know. Listen, we don't know the guy personally. All we can go on is his actions and what he says, and that's it.
To be fair, that don't really matter, does it? Why do we care whether he's a piece of shit or a nice guy? All we want to see is fights, really, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, to be fair, the intent to hurt your opponent, I'm not, you know, shocked in the way some people are. It's the stuff about bringing people's kids in. I mean, like intent to. What do we mean when we say throwing punches with bad intentions? We mean we want to seriously hurt people. I mean, Tyson used to talk about stuff like that. Boxers have talked about, you know, seriously hurting people for years. Let's be honest, they're heavyweights. Like, they really could kill each other, and everybody that gets into boxing is aware that you know, they are risking their lives. So, like, I don't know. I'm not so shocked by that. I'm more shocked with the sort of like, you know, people's kids being brought into it. I think that crosses a line for me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go swimming. You can't go swimming without getting wet. So
Yeah.
this is a sport where you get punched in the face. So anything
Yeah,
can
but
happen.
kill, it's very specific.
Yeah, but I just think to talk about death before fights even happen, I just think it would just bring a bad vibe to the fight, if you ask me. I mean, because in the day, these are still human beings. Whether he's a fighter or not, he's got kids at home and a wife that need him. And Wilder's talking about body bagging the guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna put that hurt on my opponent, or I'm gonna go kill my opponent. I don't know. It's
even if he says, "Oh, I'm gonna hit Brazil that hard," when he wakes up, there's gonna be a chalk mark around him. Or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't like it. What I mean is, I'm less shocked by it. I don't like that, and that's the other thing with him. That's another like sort of point about him contradicting himself. I've seen interviews with Wilder where he said, you know, I just pray that we both get home safe at the end of the fight. I've seen him say that, and then in the next breath, he like wants to actually kill somebody. I just like, I don't know whether he's just dumb. Or he's just kind of like just simply trying to shock as much as he possibly can. I think Floyd set a bit of a precedent with the way Floyd kind of played the villain and made that work for him. Obviously, there were a lot of other elements that were at play there that maybe Wilder don't see. But I think certain fighters are trying to do that now. There's certain fighters are trying to sort of like think they might have a blueprint that Floyd might have left behind, a blueprint for success.
Like about crippling people and body bagging people.
No, he just played the arsehole, didn't he? Flaunted his cash.
Oh yeah, but being the arsehole's he was just being himself. He is an arsehole.
Yeah,
there's no show to this. He's just a literal arsehole, isn't he?
No, but he wasn't like that before, though. Was he? Like saying he wanted to body bag people and shit like that, like cripple and getting into fights in the dressing rooms, or what was it, like the backstage, whatever.
No.
So that was a different. This is a different Wilder. I don't know.
No, I think the Joshua saga's got to him mentally, innit? He's like a time bomb waiting to explode.
I think he's frustrated. He's frustrated. His career isn't going anywhere. I mean. Yeah, basically, okay, he's getting that Fury fight now, but for years, I mean, what the hell did he do? Nothing, man. And Joshua, in just a couple of fights, he's fucking on top of the heavyweight division. I mean, that's getting to him.
Yeah,
I mean,
the change. You see the change in Wilder's character when the Fury fight was made, sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I've finally got my big fight. And he started to relax a little bit, and he started
smiling. He's smiling now.
He looks a lot more relaxed. But I mean, you can understand him being pissed off. I mean, I'm no Eddie Hearn fan, but one thing I do agree with Eddie Hearn when he says is that he's been promoted absolutely atrociously, because you know what kind of like big knockout artist, fucking heavyweight that can talk, you know, doesn't at 40 fights, and what is he, like 32 33 now or something? I might have that wrong. I think that's roughly what he is. Hasn't already made himself into a superstar. I mean, normally when you have those attributes as a heavyweight
there's one man to blame, bro. Shirley Winkle.
Shirley Winkle.
Shirley Finkel. Eddie Hearn calls him Shirley Winkle.
Shirley Winkle.
I was thinking, who the hell are you talking about?
Shirley Finkel. You know Eddie Hearn calls him Shirley Winkle.
Yeah,
I mean, he's his manager, isn't he? I mean, who's his promoter?
What's his job? I mean, did you see him there the other day? I thought, I didn't even recognise the old. It's just this old little fucker just getting in the way of everyone.
He looks like Mr. Burns off The Simpsons, doesn't he?
Yeah. He looks like Dick Cheney. And by the way, let's go real quick to the chat room, see what people are saying about this. James Walker says, I think Wilder's a nice guy, just no shame in being the villain. As he says, is Fury gonna kiss Wilder like Safari? Quincy Pinola says, Wilder didn't say much to Ortiz. Mr. Coxey says, Fury definitely needs more fights before Wilder. Hawker Mustang says, the LDBC makes me hate Wilder. Nopal Castellanos says...
Yeah.
Nopal Castellanos says, Charlie Zelenov deserved it. Zelenov was talking trash, says Quincy. But see, that's the thing. Zelenov is a guy that's mentally disturbed. He's got schizophrenia or something. I mean, I'm no psychiatrist or psychologist, so I can't really say, but he definitely has something wrong with him. And again, Wilder, he didn't know, maybe, you know, it's hard to know sometimes, but even if he wasn't schizophrenic, why would you go in there against a guy that's harassing you? He could have killed him. We talked about this in the show before, about how he could have killed a guy, and then he either has to pay out or he goes to jail. It was just a dumb thing to do.
You can't, yeah, and as well as that, like, I mean, that Charlie Zelenoff quite clearly is fucking like, he's disturbed. But like, even like you say, BDA, even aside from the fact that he's like quite clearly disturbed and whatnot, this is a professional heavyweight boxer, a knockout artist, heavyweight, yeah, going and hunting down some fucking like 10 stone wet through fucking nobody, not even a pro boxer. I mean, like, it's a bit of an extreme reaction for me. I don't think you can really say that whoever said that in the chat, like, oh, we had it coming to him. If he's got it coming to him, just about everybody I ever fucking see posting comments on Twitter should all get fucking hidings from Deontay Wilder as well, because everyone talks like that.
There's a difference, bro. That guy went to Wilder's gym. Wilder didn't go looking for him. He went to Wilder's gym to fight him. And granted, he shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have took the fight. Could you imagine Lennox Lewis in there? He wouldn't have took it. He wouldn't have took it.
Was that Wilder's gym? I didn't think that was Wilder's gym.
Yeah, no,
yeah, it was.
He came to Wilder's gym, man. Do you know what I mean? So what do you expect him to do? You know, the guy.
Clown. I didn't
you kick him out. Oh yeah, you can't kick the guy out. Well, hold on a second. You can't kick the guy out. You actually, if he comes at you, you have to fight him.
The guy, I'm saying that, but Abztract said that Wilder went looking for him, chasing around, looking for him. That wasn't the case. The guy was in his gym training, and he came in.
I got that from the way that, I mean, that was the first time I'd really seen that Charlie Zelenoff. I didn't know anything about him before that, to be completely honest. And it was the way he just seemed to not want to fight that made me think that Wilder had come there, because it just didn't compute in my head that he's gone to Wilder's gym and then he's like, you know, cowering on the floor. I mean,
well, Brandon in the chat said that he signed a waiver, which means when you go into a boxing gym, you sign a form to say if anything you get hurt, that you can't sue them. And he actually signed that when he went into the gym. So that doesn't look good either. So if Wilder had hurt him, he wouldn't have got sued. So he shouldn't have took the fight as a heavyweight champion of the world. That's got a bit of fucking what's the word? Honor to his name. He shouldn't have took that fight. Do you know what I mean?
Well, listen, let's not forget, Charlie Zelenoff is the guy that got beat up by Floyd Mayweather Sr. I mean, when you're getting beat up by a senior citizen who's got that lung disease. Yeah, he's got that lung disease. Carcinoma, what's it called? Some sort of lung disease where he got beat up by that guy. I mean, he's fucking insane, this guy.
He actually jumped out of the ring to get away from Floyd Senior, and then like, jumped back in and sucker punched him or something, didn't he? I mean,
Then you see Floyd's reaction. You fucking beat the shit out of him.
It's not a good resume, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
But you know, people in the chat room, like Nopal is saying he has a mental disease, but that doesn't give him the right to terrorize the world. No, but it does mean that he should. Again, that raises the issue of how society treats people that are mentally ill. He should be dropped in a mental asylum or something, because I'm not talking about universities, by the way. I'm talking about an actual insane asylum, because this guy, he's a threat. He's a threat to people. And by the way, this reminds me also of the situation with, what was it called? The guy we always talk about here, the super middleweight who, he fought Carl Froch. Remember, he's a homosexual. He was in a homosexual porn. Yusuf Mack, yes, thank you. Yusuf Mack was in a similar situation where he was getting harassed for being gay, and all of a sudden he tracked a guy down to a barbershop and beat the shit out of him. And some people were saying, well, if you're gonna talk smack, you gotta be prepared to get beat up. But I'm thinking, listen, we live in a society. You can't go around beating people up, especially if you're a professional boxer.
BDA, why did you track that guy down? I think, wasn't everyone roasting him for being gay? Like,
yeah, but I think this time. Yeah, but I think this specific person was doing it more than often, I think. And I don't know, but listen, again, that doesn't give you the right. If you're a professional boxer and you go to court, they're going to take that into consideration that your fist, you know, you're actually a trained professional boxer. You could have really hurt. He did hurt the guy. But that's the thing. Some people were saying, well, if you're gonna talk, you better be prepared to walk the walk.
I mean,
mean,
do you people have any sense? Like, they're doing it on purpose, because if you go and attack them, they can just sue you. They know you have money, so why not just ignore them?
exactly. And by the way, that's why I love the United States, where you can sue anybody for anything. I remember when I used to watch that show. What was it called? Before TMZ existed, back in the 90s. It was something about celebrity. Like it was paparazzi going around filming people. And one day, you know, they were provoking the celebrity, and then the celebrity spit on them. And the guy goes, "Oh, he spit on me. He spit on me." He goes get a cop, and the cop arrested the celebrity for spitting on somebody. I'm thinking, whoa, you can actually get arrested for spit. And he probably got the shit sued out of him as well, or the saliva, I should say, sued out of him for spitting. That's the way they work sometimes. So you got to be very careful, man, about getting into fights. And here's the other thing. Somebody told me once, I don't know if this is true or not, he got into a fight with a bum, and he punched him in the mouth, and he cut his hand on the bum's teeth, and the bum's saliva got into the wound, and I guess the guy had all sorts of diseases or something, so his hand got infected, and it was just a mess. So yeah, you don't want to go around getting into fights.
I got into a fight like 13, 14 years ago where I hit a guy with an uppercut. Hit him. He obviously had his mouth open. I hit his teeth. His teeth came out, and it was in my knuckle. It was in my knuckle, man.
Are you Charlie Zelenoff? I mean, you're going around fucking getting into fights in Madison Square Garden, almost getting into a fight with Miguel Cotto. I mean, Jesus.
Boxing style is calling recognize Apollo Creed.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why.
Those bouncer days, man, were pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
I bet they were. But so yeah, so that begs the question: what we were talking about? Oh yeah, we started because of Wilder.
I reckon I ask you a question real quick. Did a woman ever try to, size you up and try to fight you?
I had one girl punch me in my face like about 3 times when I was throwing out her boyfriend.
So you should have had your scarf with you, bro.
Never forget the scarf.
I punched her. I mean, I couldn't take it no more. I just punched her once. I felt bad about it afterwards, but she was fucking mad.
Apology is gonna be asking you
with shots. It's like she called me with a 3-punch combination. I was like, what the fuck?
Whoa. Yeah, some women know how to fight, man. And this is the other thing. Usually a woman that knows how to fight is a tiger in the bedroom. Oftentimes, not all the time, but a lot of the times, it's if she's that fiery.
I could tell.
Mr. Cox is asking, recognize, was this woman the one that got the uppercut?
No, the one that I knocked the teeth out.
It was the missus asking when he's coming home, and I recognised just uppercutting her right in the fucking.
Yeah, that's what really happened. She was asking too many questions. I said, "I told you, bitch, stop asking me questions."
Dr. Steelhammer says, "Nah, I recognize Dr. Miguel Cotto."
Yes,
well, who
this
wouldn't,
is that's how you guys are interpreting it. But yes, this is the rumor. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, man, I wouldn't go around getting into fights with professional boxers. Remember, I told you the story about that guy who thought that he could beat Joe Calzaghe in a street fight because his logic was, well, before he throws a punch, I would take him down. And I'm thinking, you're a fat, out-of-shape guy. You're slow as fuck. How the fuck are you going to get him down? I mean, there was a video of Joe Calzaghe training a couple of months ago. He's retired and everything, and he's hitting the punching bag, and he's still as fast, well, not as fast as ever, but he's quicker than any of us could ever be. Well, maybe, I don't know how fast you guys are, but the guy's quick.
Nobody's faster than me. Nobody.
Well, there you go. Well, I mean...
I got a friend that... He's a pro boxer. He's had 4 fights. He's super middleweight. And we was out in a bar once, and this guy, he was huge. He must have been 230 pounds of muscle. He was all ripped up. He was going crazy at us, and he kept starting. And my mate, who's a boxer, so he goes, "I'm gonna whack that." He goes, "I'm gonna whack that cunt in a minute." I was like, "No, just leave it, man. Forget it." He goes, "No, I'm going to have him." And he stepped forward. My mate hit him with one shot. This guy was huge. My mate hit him with one shot. He was on the floor shaking on the fucking ground. My mate picked him up by his trousers and threw him in a bush, man. Fucking sitting there in the bush shaking. One punch.
He put him to sleep.
This guy looked like fucking Shannon Briggs. This guy looked like fucking Shannon Briggs, man. My mate cleaned him out with one shot. And he was shaking on the floor. And my mate just picked him up, threw him in the bush. He was still shaking. Do you know what I mean? Fucking.
But wait, why did he punch a guy? Why did he punch him?
He's had 4 fights. What do you think Calzaghe would do?
Yeah, but why did your friend punch this guy? What did he do?
Because he was starting on us. He had ripped his top off. He was ripped to fuck as well. He was definitely on roids. And he was just starting going on a mad one. And it was, he was getting a bit violent. My mate said, "I'm going to knock this guy out."
Dude, are you sure he wanted to fight you? I mean, he took his top off, so
apology. See, where I'm from, if someone takes their top off, it means a fight. I don't know where you're from. It might be something else.
One never knows.
I'm from California.
You know something? And I bet you your friend, the boxer, right? I bet you he's one of those type of people. He's cool. But
he's cool as fuck. Cool as fuck.
Once you make that gesture, you want to fight. He goes beast mode. That's it. He
didn't need to go beast mode. One shot. That's all it took. And this guy's had 4 fights, and this guy was shaking on the floor. Thought he killed the cunt. You know what I mean?
Every time recognised.
Yeah.
Hey, that was the siren that guy.
Dude, you gotta BDA. You gotta cut this up right here and make us and have Stuart explaining the story and then the police in the background. Perfect.
Oh, I will. And by the way, we all know that siren isn't for Recognize the Matrix. He's an undercover cop, so I mean he's not worried about it.
Come on, man. You know these bastards are gonna believe that.
Well, listen. That's the way we do it over here at BDA. We start rumors and we go with them. We can't go back afterwards. It's interesting because
you're a little out of order. Just a little out of order.
Nah, you got a little out of order yourself. But
no, I didn't
that's the thing. But here's the thing. These fucking people that think it's interesting because I think we've talked about this before also about how there's a lot of people out there that have never been hit in the face before and they don't know what it's like to take a punch and they don't understand that there's people out there that could easily kick your ass, but some people don't care. And I was like, Butcher, you know, we have a mutual friend. These motherfuckers had a shape, and he's always looking to fight people on the street. Yeah. I'm thinking, listen, I explained to him once, like, you're out of shape, you don't know how to fight, you're looking for fights, you're gonna end up plastered on the fucking side.
I don't know about you guys.
Some people can't think things through.
I want to hear about this friend. Who is this
Some people can't think any further than sort of like the immediate moment. Like that's what I've found. It's like
that's true.
You can't think things through and sort of like weigh things up, weigh up the. Is this a good idea or not? Some people don't seem to like have that fucking thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't have that.
Story.
Yeah, go ahead.
But tell the story.
Yeah, tell the story, please.
Well, no, it was just the story was it was me talking to myself in front of the mirror. No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, there's this guy. Yeah, this guy, and I've known a bunch of people like that. You know, they think like, oh, if I catch this motherfucker, I'm gonna get. There was even Joe Rogan was telling that story. I mean, not Joe Rogan. It was Charlie Murphy on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about some R&B star who had started lifting weights with a baseball player or something, and they were watching a De La Hoya fight, and the singer said, "Oh, I could take him. And Charlie Murphy said, "No, you couldn't. This guy's a professional boxer, world champion." The guy goes, No. He's a pretty boy. I would take him." And see, that's how some people think. Oh shit, everybody dropped off. But anyway, yeah, that's how some people think. They think, oh, well, this guy's a pretty boy. He's got a pretty face. I can knock him out. You don't forget about how the person looks. It's about the attitude they bring in a street fight. And there's some people out there, you could punch them all you want. After 3 minutes, if you're not in shape, you're going to be huffing and puffing. And this guy's going to eat you. So don't even fucking try.
People forget to read like Stu's friend, who's a boxer. This guy could fight for 15 minutes straight if he had to. You know, and I'm being generous. Like I'm saying, he could probably do it more than that. He could actually probably fight more than that if he had to. These guys going there, they don't realize that, you know, anybody who hits the bag or spars, if you throw, let's say 1,000 punches a day, bro, you're gonna have an advantage over some kid who's, you know, walking around big and bad, thinking he's, you know, thinking that he can knock out anybody. You're gonna have the stamina.
This is it, Rick.
Yeah, also
we've all seen people throw shots. We've seen it hundreds of times in pubs and clubs and everywhere else. But this shot, it was just the technique of it, and how clean it was. You heard the thud as it hit his chin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also one thing real quick, like he knows how to take a punch as well. Some of these guys don't know how to take a punch. Like
that's
his
the
chin
thing.
and his body's conditioned. He's been sparring for years.
Now, if he's doing that to a 230-pound man full of muscle, who's obviously on peds and trains hard, right? He's cleaning him out with one shot. What's he going to do to the average guy on the street?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys remember Brock? You remember Brock Lesnar in UFC when he fought Cain Velasquez? You could tell he couldn't take. He wasn't used to taking punches. He actually turned his back at some point. Like that's the first thing. That's the first thing. You know, when you go to you see these people in the gym for the first time and they get hit and they turn their back. That same Brock Lesnar was doing that shit, man.
That's a good point,
dude.
Because
I sparred with guys. I sparred with guys that have been sparring for years, right? Since they were kids, and if they're a little bit off, right? They haven't sparred in a while, and this is including for myself too. We are such in a disadvantage, you know what I'm saying? And we're guys who've done it for like years since we were kids, right? So imagine some kid who's never actually thrown hands in a boxing ring, or doesn't know how to train to throw punches. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't know how to take punches. Come on, man. He's dead meat within 3 minutes, if that.
Absolutely.
And that's the best he can do. At the best he can do, out of just pure luck and adrenaline. Maybe if he's in great shape, it's last 2 minutes. But after that, he's done.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you put it very well where you said the way you said it about guys that are training every fucking day. They can go 15 rounds. A guy who's drunk and doesn't train, he can't go 2 minutes. He's gonna get tired, and that's without even mentioning the technique disadvantage. You know what I'm talking about. In street fights, swinging wildly, chin up in the air, just begging to get knocked out and hitting the asphalt. I mean, that shit is dangerous, man. Somebody hits the asphalt, they're done, man. They could die from the impact. And by the way,
we missed everything you said, man, in the hangouts.
Yeah, man.
I thought that was me there. I thought my phone was going fucking pear-shaped.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, just to have you.
Yeah, this time I didn't hear you, BDA.
Oh, Jimmy.
What's going on, gentlemen?
But I just want to say one thing.
BDA, play Jimmy's intro, man.
Hold on. I just want to say one last thing real quick.
Can't have Jimmy on the show without that intro.
I know, but let me just say one real thing, just to round this whole thing up about the street fighting. Watch that clip of Rocky Lockridge, the former 140-pound or 130-pound contender. He's talking to this guy. He's dressed like a pimp or something, and he knocks this guy out who's provoking him. And it's an old-ass Rocky Lockridge against a crackhead, granted, but it's still old Rocky Lockridge. And he just throws a right hand, doesn't even look that hard, and he lays a guy out cold.
And the guy was all with it. You know, he was like, "Yeah, let's go. He just didn't realize that. Look at you talking about Rocky Lockridge. It's a guy who's fighting elite fighters. Come on, man. You don't have a chance with that dude. You know what
exactly.
He'll break your jaw.
Exactly. And the other guy doesn't help that he was a crackhead. All right. By the way, we got Jimmy on the line, and I'm looking for the fucking intro here. Hold on a sec. It caught me off guard here. Bucho, for some reason, I'm
longing for the day when I'm immortalized with a BDA intro. I tell you that.
Well,
I feel like I've arrived. I'll be feeling like I've arrived that day when it first played.
Let me tell you something. I'm stalling here.
Reach the top of the mountain there.
You gotta put in work.
That's it. It will be.
Well, you gotta put in work. All right. You can't just. There are no free rides here. Everybody puts in work, and you're gonna get your fucking hands dirty for us. You understand what I'm saying? Or you can go back into the.
You up there again, mate?
Abstract.
Abstract, you gotta have the police sirens. That's what I did. I had the police sirens everywhere. BDA said I gotta keep this guy.
I feel bad now, dude. You've been trying to make that thing work, man. I had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine. It was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
All right, yeah, it's because for some reason
that too,
I didn't.
bought them off.
For some reason, I didn't have it in the system. Did you guys hear it or?
I didn't hear it. I had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine. It was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
Yeah.
All right.
For some reason, I couldn't find it.
Awesome. That's great, man. Hey, listen, I can tell you, I heard you guys talking. Listen, I got a that's one of the few good point of views I have. I've seen Mickey get in more than one tussle on the street and against some tough motherfuckers too, right? Kids who had wicked reputation from other towns.
Precise enjoys VR porn.
We're talking
except he doesn't use a VR.
Early 90s, at the height of like teenage violence, like kids fist fighting everywhere. And is a reputation amongst an area that already has a reputation for fucking street fighters, right? And I'm telling you, I have yet to see anybody, and you know, Mickey was a champion wrestler too, so if it ever went to the ground, it was over that pretty quickly. But I'm telling you guys, when somebody's been training to hit and use their hands, you have no chance unless you catch them with the shot that wrecks them right off the rip. But you know what I mean? And I'm talking about Mickey's like 5'8" tops. I seen him take out the Davis in the Freedom Center. Guy was like 6'5". He took 2 steps. Every time he opened his mouth, another tooth fell out of his face. Swear to God. And Mickey hit him 3 times. And this kid was an ex-Hell's Angel fucking psycho. And this guy was like a fucking 2 of Mickey's. But Mickey just 3-pieced them and it was done. Guy just was like, wow. Once to the ribs and 2 to the face and it was over.
Damn. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I had another kid, Laurie Carroll. You know in the movie The Baby? He had a baby with this girl, Laurie. Well, in the movie, they played her ugly. They made her look like she was a bitch, and she was cool, kids. But anyway, no, really, it was just that movie sucked. That movie really bothered me. They portrayed the sisters like they were all fucking just porch buzzards hanging out all day, which isn't the case. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like crazy white trash. That's not the family at all. But you know, they're gonna sell tickets. So, but one time we're crossing the street with the park, everybody was hanging out, and Laurie Carroll, I mean, and I'll tell you, and I'm an ass guy, and Laurie Carroll had one of the nicest asses in the city, right? And she had those fucking tight Jordan-ass jeans come strolling across the street, and these fucking 4 kids from another town stopped and started harassing her with the mouth. And of course, we're all like, get out of here, you guys nuts. And Mickey lived right on the corner. So the kid parked his car, second mistake. Then one of them got out, third mistake, and it was over. Before I was able to put my fucking drink down and get across to where I was, Mickey had all 3 of them on the ground, curled up in a fetal position. Hand to God. Before I could get to the crowd to see what was up, he had all 3 of them. They all had Letterman wrestling Letterman jackets on. Folded all 3 of them like lawn chairs.
Yeah, I bet you the shock of the violence that he threw those punches,
exactly.
They didn't know what to do. They were like, "What the fuck was that?"
At Hampton Beach, I saw a kid crack a broomstick across his face, kind of like sucking him. And you know those fucking $9 wooden handled shitty fucking brooms, the straw brooms you get at Walmart. One of those, not no heavy duty oak thing, but still, I didn't see it coming. Because Mike Fine, God rest his soul, he threw a sucker punch at one of the kids as they were getting out the door. Because they just showed up. At the beach, we used to rent, like every teenager, you rent a house, and, you know, everybody would show up there. And these kids come walking in from Andover, and they just didn't know what they were cutting into. And they were running their mouth, and the girls were like, listen, this is a private party, get out. So, of course, as they were leaving, Mike had to be Mike, and he fucking punched the kid. And next, you know, they knew that Mickey was a fighter because one of the girls said, because he had, like, his face was jacked up. No, he's a fighter, blah, blah, blah. So the kid figured he'd take Mickey out early and right across the side. I mean, welt. You know, he had a welt across his nose, it came down his head, forehead, across the bridge of his nose and his cheekbone. Big welt after. But I swear to God, after they took one of them away in an ambulance, We got Mickey out of the course, and the fucking Hampton police come up, looking at everybody's hands. All right, who hit that kid with the brass knuckles? He's bruised from his face to below his chest. He had a bruise that bled. It was crazy. Yeah, he did all three of them. We just all stepped back and he took them out. I'm telling you, he didn't fight often. He never started it, but when it was fucking push came to shove, it ain't nothing pretty to see a professional boxer beat up a civilian in the street. It's just not a good day to run your mouth. But all right, I'll let you guys fucking talk now. Sorry.
Yeah, how did we get into this street talk? No?
Fucking Mickey, a guy like Mickey, right? Who could hit dudes with like professional boxers with body shots and knock them out with no problem. You know, can you imagine him like some fucking guy his size or a little bit taller trying to fuck with him from the streets?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get destroyed, man. You're no match. And then on top of that, we gotta understand something. Boxers like to fight. Listen, I got into boxing. I mean, I never turned pro, but I got into boxing because I love fighting. I used to just like to fight, and it was a way to like perfect your fighting skills, you know. And I took pride in learning how to perfect punches, learning at the same time, learning how to, stamina and how to set people up if I need to. Meaning that means if they're half decent at fighting, in terms of defending themselves, then I'll know how to set them up to catch them with a big shot. When you practice every day, man, when you do this every day, a regular street fighter who doesn't do that every day, or some regular street kid, not street fighter. There's some ultimate street fighters that'll fuck you up no matter what you know how to do. But the regular, average kid who just gets into fights here and there, and he could whip ass depending on the person he's fighting. When you put him up against somebody who's a trained fighter, he's no match.
Most street fights end whoever catches the first shot. Yeah. Exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
Most dudes, they catch one clean, and they're usually so in shock they don't know what. And if you catch somebody in the chin, especially with the drinking, if they get alcohol in them and they're a little tipsy, they go out so easy because, again, all the blood, all the alcohol is taking place of their oxygen carrying cells. So they go out.
Like I said earlier, they don't have to take a punch. They've never fought before or been boxing for years.
Well, I know that I can't stress enough. That's the reason why I quit fighting. Well, it was a couple of reasons. One, I felt I was pressured into it because I was doing it my whole life since, I come out of my mother, my father, and grandfather was teaching me and whatnot. And but it was because I would get these crazy cankers. You know what I mean? Where you get sores after you get cuts in your mouth, and you never feel anything when you get there. It's always the next day and shit. But it was just after a while. It was a Friday night. I was going out. My head was thumping. I had a fucking elbow and I caught an elbow sparring. And I'll tell you, I looked over at Mickey and he said it no show. I'm like, dude, you ever get used to the pain? And he said it without thinking about it, like it wasn't like, thought on it. He just threw his hand wraps in the locker. He's like, I don't know, man, I kind of like it. And it like hit me with like a ton of bricks. What I caught, it was like, wow, you know what I mean? Yeah, I knew I was never gonna like this. I'm like, and then on top of that, I got afraid that I was gonna like it. I never wanted to like it. That scared me. It actually had a profound effect on me because he said it so quickly. I don't know, man. I kind of like it, and he was as serious as a heart attack. And
because you know what it is, he's willing to take the beating so he can land his. He has that mentality of, I'm willing to get a little bit of punishment or a lot of punishment.
That's his whole fight. That's his whole career.
So I could put some punishment on you. Like that.
We'd always talk to the guys. Yeah. We talked to the guys after he'd fight. A lot of times they'd even come out to drinks with us after, like the guys he fought. They're cool people. This guy's making a living like everybody else. And they'd straight say it, man. I never fucking hit anybody so hard in my life. He goes, he didn't even like slow down. And it was all because it's just oxygen, I'm telling you. And Mickey will always credit that. He trained like a motherfucker. He did. He would I never saw anybody. And, he just learned, like, he hit leg day hardest because he hated to do legs.
And that's, something, you want to know something, Jimmy? That's the confidence. That's the advantage. You see, that's why I admire these boxers, these elite level boxers. Like, look, on the street, I feel comfortable. I have an advantage over these guys. I train to fight, so I have a huge advantage. Now, manage that. Now, try to take that over every other boxer. These are guys who train just like you. You got to be like really, to be elite, man, to be an elite athlete, you have to be like really, really top-notch condition.
And I've played enough sports where I can tell you, I played ice hockey at a junior level, which is pretty high. It's higher than high school, almost probably some people consider it college level. Baseball right through high school. I mean, baseball not much for conditioning, but I'll tell you, there is nothing that sets you like boxing. Wrestling's kind of close because you're straining a lot, but not like boxing because it's not a team sport. There's nowhere to go. You have 3 minutes, and that doesn't seem like on. Just try to punch a punching bag for 3 straight minutes, and now you're doing that. That's why feints are so important. I tell any kid, feints, man, get people mentally tired too. That's why Lomachenko, that hand movement, it's causing movement. Movement makes your eyes move, and if your eyes are moving, you're processing movement. So when you're processing that actually physically gets you tired. His father's a smart dude. I read a lot of the shit, his father's theories. He's incorporated a lot of shit.
My nephew came one time to a gym where over here in New York where I sparred at, and so he's like, oh, I want to get in. He wanted to get in the ring and spar. I told him, this is Jimmy's point. I said, hit that heavy back for 3 minutes and tell me you think you're okay. He said, what? I said, yeah, just hit it for 3 minutes. Came back, he's like, damn, boy, I'm tired. It's like, you're not sparring with these boys. They'll kill you.
Yeah, I think
they'll kill you, man. And my nephew could fight. You know, he boxes. My brother's teaching him how to fight, but I'm like, there's levels to the guys you're talking about. That you want to spar. These guys they'll hurt you.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's very well said. There's levels to this. You can't. That's why I always stress to people. There's always these guys that go into the gym and the first thing they want to do is spar. Hey, let's spar. Like, no, you don't even know the footwork. You don't have the footwork. Every time you punch, you're gonna be off balance. The first time somebody starts putting pressure on you, you're gonna panic and you're gonna burn all your energy within a round. Like, you gotta ease people into it. Now, there's a bit of a debate going
before you walk.
Exactly. Yeah. Very well said. There's a bit of a debate in the chat room right now about how, boxing can really does shave off years off your life. If you're a professional fighter, it can take a toll. But the thing I always tell people is boxing is like alcohol. If you do it in a smart way, it can't hurt you all that bad. So in terms of boxing, if you learn proper defense, if you know how to take care of your body, if you're not ballooning up to 30-40 pounds during fights, you're gonna last a long time and you're gonna hopefully get out of boxing with all your marbles intact. But like with drinking, if you can't control yourself and you just go chug, yeah, it's not gonna end up well for you. So you gotta know how to, you gotta have a good
training could take a lot out of you as well. I mean, I think we had this debate a little while ago. Well, I don't think boxers should do road works. I think the treadmill is a lot easier on the joints.
Yeah,
it's a lot better. I think road works that takes a lot out of your legs, ages you, stress, puts a lot of stress in the joints. Do you know what I mean? So,
Stu, we're 100% right. In fact, Mickey had to stop running on a cement just for what you're saying. He developed mad shin splints and different problems. You're 100% right. He ended up doing hills and water.
All right, hold on. There's too much.
I tried not to.
Running for the police or something.
Recognize, man.
Yeah, running for the police.
Yeah, there's too much background noise, man.
Dude, I thought I was on fucking mute. I'm over here. Sorry.
Hey, you're showing your age if you know what Hill Street Blues.
I remember that show.
Yeah, I remember Hill Street Blues.
Yeah.
Not the same as NYPD Blues.
Yeah, back to what Jimmy just said. It's definitely a thing that fighters need to look into. Just for the longevity of the sport. You put a lot of stress on your body being a boxer. You do. I mean, it's no surprise. You don't get many fighters that live till 80 or 90, do you? Let's be real. So, if you're going to be in the sport for a long time, then you've got to look at ways of just putting less stress on your body. And I definitely think the treadmill. Deontay Wilder uses the treadmill. He doesn't do road works, and it's worked for him so far. There's a lot of fighters now that are doing it. I just don't. And tough sparring as well. Is there any need for tough sparring, going to war with middleweights when you're a welterweight? And like Amir Khan, that takes a lot out of you when you're taking knockouts at Amir Khan. We've seen Amir Khan get knocked out. We said, oh, that must take a lot out of him. But we don't see the knockouts in the gym and sparring, and the middleweights that he's sparring and taking big shots from. So that's the fighters starting to start being sensible.
And what and what BDA, what I want to touch on what you said, you're 100% correct. And if you want to keep your career going longer, like, people don't realize how much you stress your body to take off 40 pounds. When you start getting to the point where you're no longer taking off fat, you're actually eating muscle. I mean, that's your body doesn't know that you're doing that on purpose. Right now, it goes into a starvation mode, so it changes your whole metabolic rate, puts different stresses on your heart. So I'm saying, if you're like a Rios, that kid becomes a fucking slob between fights, and then he would just sit in a sauna and just, saunas and sweat boxes, which is the worst way, because it just drains the nutrition and everything right out of you. So remember the last fight when he came in against Pacquiao, he looked like a heroin addict. He was ashy, gray, because he had no nutrition in his body. He just bled it all out.
Also, you can black out and pass out from that. If you guys watch UFC, Helen Barral, he passed out trying to make weight, and he's hit his head really hard, and he has to go to the hospital.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That shit, man.
Jeez.
No, it's problems.
Yeah, I think that happened to Misha Tate as well when she was trying to make weight. She blacked out, slipped, and hit her head.
My goodness gracious, that's not good.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Boxing? I was just about to introduce you, man.
God, no.
Yes, it is. It is.
Hey,
I gotta go, guys. Bye.
Who is that? Who's saying bye? Who's saying bye?
Matrix.
Everyone.
Oh, Matrix.
Yeah, Boxing Styles here, so I gotta go. Sorry. Bye.
Yeah,
knocking out bums outside, breaking their teeth and shit. Shame on you.
When did you get out, Boxing Styles?
What's up, Boxing Styles, man? You just got out.
It's me, bro. It's the
Did
real
you just
one.
Get out?
Yeah, I got out, bro. It's like
was
2 weeks county jail.
Was X in there?
X, nah, man. But we
did you wrap that case up, bro? Is that all set now?
What's up?
Is that case all wrapped up now?
It is. It's all I had somebody in the inside. They switched the information around, so someone else.
That's not the same guy, man. Jimmy, that's not the.
He's getting me confused with an actual guy who actually sat down for shit. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, when you drop the soap. Be honest.
Hey, did you guys discuss the zones? Did you see what they're putting out for their first American show?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Holy we didn't talk. Shit. I don't know, man. Maybe I was expecting. I thought for the listen. You only have one chance to make a first impression. I just thought I credit Eddie Hearn with so much more intelligence than that. To come out, you want your first one to kick ass. You want to grab people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think they have to start right away though. So that's the first thing they put out, but because they don't have time to.
But listen, you can have other shit in the works. You know what I mean? You can. But when you're dealing with a $7 billion company or an investment, shame on you for not having other stuff ready. You know what I mean? I'm just shocked. I'm shocked it's that bad.
I think what it is, first fight for these guys that have just signed. It's not good if you sign for a guy who promises you well, and then he puts you in with a killer in the first fight. He's obviously.
No, I understand. Listen, I understand for that reason, Stu. But don't put it on a pay-per-view. Put it out there. Put it maybe in Europe, whatever. Even let it get picked up by Facebook, but don't use it as the. What's that? Well, it's on their platform. It's on their, you know what I mean, the Dazn platform. I'm just saying it's their kickoff date here in the United States.
Yeah, it's not a great card. I'm not going to sit and pretend it is, but I just think give him 2 or 3 more cards, and if they're still like that, then it's time to get on his back. It's early.
You know what I'm saying? Because I credit her. Listen, I think he's a sharp kid. He's made an obscene amount of money. I think he takes care of his fighters. And I'm not an anti-Hearn guy by no means. I'm just saying for your first one, I mean, even if you didn't announce it, even if it came across on the zone, you could get it on your app or whatever. But to call it it's the American kickoff, you know what I'm saying? I would have liked to seen at least a better fucking just Vargas. Come on for your headline. That's a bad.
Yo, Jim. Yeah, bro. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to know about this shit because I've been off by boxing for like a week because I was busy. What happened with I know the Tyson Fury thing and Wilder shit's gonna happen, but did he get the 50 million off of that shit like he was supposed to, or what happened? What do you guys know about this? Like the 50 million that was supposed to be offered apparently to Joshua will go to Fury instead.
Oh God, no! God, no!
Are you insane? No,
no, because the reason. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Stu.
Yeah.
No, so I was just gonna say, have you been in Mars for the last 3 months or something?
Yes, man, I've been too fucking busy, bro. Too busy.
Well, you just got to go by what they're worth. You know what I mean? What the initial. I mean, Frank Warren's running it. I don't know what they're. I just don't think because Wilder. I mean, he's never even sold out anything here, and Fury didn't do himself any favors as far as gaining any American fans with that performance. Holy shit, that was fucking.
I do believe that shit, but then when they talk about that 50 million being real and escrow and all that shit, so I was like, maybe this was escrow. Tyson saw that shit and he's like, oh shit, I'll take that offer. Who cares?
But he's fighting Fury now. Why even bother talking about it? It's just killed. It's killed my love for the sport. This Joshua Wilder shit. It's just been.
But does this confirm the fact that Joshua is a coward?
Well, you could say that. You know, it's up to you. I don't think he's a coward because fighting Povetkin's not exactly a cowardly move, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. I'm not going to take that. But I mean, we'd rather be undisputed or be defending.
All right.
I think Hatman did a video saying that Frank Warren said something about they'd done a deal with Shelley Finkel because obviously if Joshua took the 50 million. Wilder's camp would have had the rights to the TV, and they were going to sell the TV rights for Joshua to BT Sports on pay-per-view. And I think that could have been a big factor in why they didn't want the fight. So
I really don't think. I honestly don't think after that Klitschko fight, Joshua's ever been the same. I had a feeling about that, but I think I kind of after his last fight. Who was his last fight? Damn, forgot. Who was his fucking last fight? Forgot his name.
Parker?
No, it wasn't. Parker. Yeah. Parker. No, I think it was Parker. It was Parker. Yeah. His last fight, I didn't see the same Joshua. Something happened with that hit that he got with Klitschko in that fight. Something.
All right,
his brain, his mental is not there.
Boxing style.
No more there.
Boxing style. All right.
But hold on.
It sounds like boxing style's been hanging around with the LDBC. I think that's why he's been so busy this past few weeks. No, I'm kidding.
I don't defend neither side, bro.
No, but you bring up a good point. You bring up a valid point. Why didn't the fight between Joshua and Wilder happen? I mean, it's that right there. The fact that there's so much money involved and it didn't happen. Then again, we've seen big fights stalled before, like Pacquiao Mayweather, and of course Canelo Golovkin took a long time to make as well. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, are people really scared?
Man, they're just teasing us. It's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, they're just generating interest. That's all. I think it's going to happen early next year, as long as they both. I mean, Povetkin is. I mean, that's a legitimate challenge.
Yeah, definitely. This could be a theory, though. This could be a theory. Maybe the last two performances from both guys set the hype back a little bit, and I think they had to rebuild, if you know what I mean, and take a big opponent. And if Wilder wins in devastating fashion and Joshua the same against Povetkin, the fight's going to be bigger, I think, because I think it took a bit of sting off it with a poor performance against Joseph Parker. Wilder was seconds away from being stopped. I just think it took the shine off the fight a little bit, and I think they've had to rebuild the hype sort of thing. So,
and to Joshua's defense, man, both those guys, Takam and Parker, are not easy guys to look good against. It's actually very hard to fight guys shorter than you, especially much shorter than you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really is.
And awkward too. He's awkward the way he moves. You could see it in his frustration. Remember when he was kind of holding him and Parker was trying to hit him in the body, and Joshua looked right at the fucking camera and made this face like, "Come on, this is just it." You know what I mean? Like, I think he'll do better against some in his own height because of his style. He's very upright. He throws a very straight jab. It's hard. He was trying to line him up with uppercuts.
I think he's in danger with Povetkin. I think he really is in danger with Povetkin. I mean, obviously the ref is there to protect his ass. The ref is there to protect his ass all the way through. But he's in serious danger with Povetkin. At first, I thought I said that AJ would knock Povetkin out somewhere in the later rounds. But now I'm looking at maybe Povetkin. It's more like a 50-50 fight that Povetkin might finish him if he gets lucky and the ref, doesn't barge in. Possibly.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well. Povetkin's got the skill and power to do that.
Yeah, I think Rob McCracken's one of the reasons as well. I think after the Klitschko fight, he was with Rob McCracken, and I just think he changed his style up a little bit more defensive. I think Rob McCracken was the one that didn't want the Wilder fight. He sees flaws in Anthony Joshua. He must do, because he's changed him up to be more defensive and pick his moments. And Joshua used to just come forward and let bombs off. That's why he used to get caught, and it was exciting to watch.
Stu, you would know because you're from the UK where he trains. Does he do open training, or is he at that level now? Does he do that you heard of? Does he do closed training? I mean, when he spars, it's everybody signs a waiver, nobody can watch it.
Yeah, you don't see anything.
Okay, all right. So my point is, the reason why I ask is because a lot of times when you see somebody in their pro career change a style and become more defensive, there's always little things that happen during sparring. Like, did he get clipped? You know what I'm saying? Like, did they see something? Like, exactly. I'm just echoing your point, bro.
Yeah, because like I said, you don't know what's happened in sparring. We ain't seeing that, but we know that this guy, he can be hurt. We've seen it. He's got a good chin on him because how he got up against Klitschko, I never know. But Rob McCracken is seeing things that he don't like, and that's why he's changed his style up a bit. Because he never did it with Froch, did he? I think he relied. He knew Froch was quite sloppy at times, and he was going to get punched in the face. But I think he knew Froch had a granite chin and was strong. Joshua's a strong kid. And he's got a good chin himself, but can be knocked out. And I think McCracken. I think Rob didn't want the Wilder fight.
And Joshua was always going to be treated different because who he is, because he's basically a walking multi-million-dollar corporation. You know what I mean? This kid pulls. I couldn't even imagine the amount of money they're counting at the end of one of the ticket nights. 90,000 people in that stadium. Wrap your fucking head around that. You know what I mean? This kid's a fucking nuts.
Right. And here's the most important thing coming into the Povetkin fight. Povetkin, he's not going to box from the outside like Parker did against Fury. I mean, against Joshua, or Takam, who was very, very short. I mean, or at least compared to Joshua. Povetkin is 6'4", I believe. He comes in under, he weaves kind of a little bit like Mike Tyson. He throws those dangerous hooks, and the most important thing is he's already trying to psych Joshua out. I've mentioned it before numerous times that he was filling up Joshua's muscles during their meetup. So he's trying to use the old psychosexual warfare, and you guys know that can really, if he gets into Joshua's head, and already Joshua maybe I don't know, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, maybe he's doubting himself or doubting his skills based on what people are saying about how he hasn't looked good in his last two fights. By the way, somebody's in the chat room saying Povetkin.
How do you get in a guy's head when you can't speak his language?
Well, by grabbing his muscles and acting all attracted to the guy. That's how you do it.
You said grabbing his cock?
No, jeez, Luis, no. I said grabbing his muscles.
Boxing still in jail, man.
Projecting much.
By the way, how tall is Alexander Povetkin? I thought he was 6'4".
6'3", I think. 6'3".
No, he's not.
6'2".
Oh no, I'm 6'2" and he's shorter than me. He's 6'4".
Yeah, I know.
No.
About 6'1", I'd say.
Let me check it out in
what if
Boxrec.
both Joshua and Wilder lose? Wouldn't that be fucking funny?
That would be, yeah. That would be exciting, man.
Tyson Fury v Povetkin for the undisputed.
Oh, you'll never hear the end of it from Tyson. You'll never hear the end of it.
I kind of want that to happen so Wilder fans and Joshua fans can just fucking shut up.
Especially Wilder.
I wonder what Tyson Fury has to offer to Wilder, because he does look sloppy, but I think he's just he's playing the game. He's just trying. I mean, he was obviously playing around with his last opponent.
Cool. Fury.
Yeah, he was. He's playing around.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think so. I think because he knew Wilder was in the crowd. He's watching the fight. You don't want to show off like you're back in shape and you're out
kind
of
of
it.
like Canelo's sparring match with Chavez, but that was just Chavez drinks.
Can I tell you my theory right now? That fight is going to be just until if Wilder catches him. But I'm telling you right now, Fury is going to try to duplicate his Klitschko performance. I think it's going to be just heinous to watch. I think it's going to be boring as fuck.
Oh yeah.
I think he's going to be so. I think he's just going to do everything he can not to engage in a fight until he can get it in the later rounds and just get cute, beat him with cuteness. Because for a big man, we can say what you want for Fury. It's actually pretty impressive to see a white man that big and be able to move the way he does. But I just think it's going to be a bogus fight.
I don't think he's going to fight like that, though.
You think he's going to go right at him?
I think he's going to go. I think he's going to sit on his chest and rough him up, and he can't fight at range with Wilder because, like I said, you can duck and you can do feints and you can parry shots, but one's going to land. Do you know what I mean?
No doubt.
He's quite accurate with that right hand. I know he gets sloppy when he hurts you. When he hurts his opponent, his technique goes out the window. The windmills start coming in. So I understand that. But when he's in shape and he's getting behind his jab, he is quite accurate. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think. I don't think Fury in the condition, or he has the rounds behind him to start trying to box Wilder from the outside and be slippery. I just don't think he can do it.
I think Fury could control that, like how Eubank was getting controlled by Groves.
Yeah, but we don't know how, like, to say what Stu's saying, echo his point, we don't know how much cocaine that dude did, how much drinking he did. To what Stu's saying, he doesn't think, is that what you're saying, Stu? He doesn't have it in his gas tank to repeat that type of Klitschko performance?
He's just not got the rounds behind him. He's,
right.
The timing's off a little bit. He's a bit slower. Let's be real. The shots are not as quick. He's lost that snappiness. So at the end of the day, he's still got enough about him. Don't get me wrong. But I think if he stays at range, I don't think he's in the shape to avoid Wilder for 36 minutes. I think he's going to have to get on his chest and take Wilder's game away from him. Because once you're inside Wilder's range, he's useless. We're
talking about shape, but this guy, I think physically, not I don't know about performance-wise how good he is right now, but like physically, he's looked better than he's ever looked before. I mean, that gut that he had with Klitschko, it's not there no more. It's like it's there, but not as much. Like you could see some kind of shape of abs somewhere in those layers.
His best asset is his mouth when it comes to against Wilder. He can get he's very good at getting in people's heads. And if I was him, I would get Wilder so in his head, get him pissed off.
Yeah,
because Wilder fights so reckless when he gets angry. He fights so. You can always tell somebody fights instead of fighting smart, they're fighting reckless. If they're still throwing punches when the guy's down, the ref's grabbing him. Charlo, Wilder, you see it all the time. It's like the ref, all right, kid, stop. Okay, he's down enough. Okay, all right. It's like, all right, dude, open your eyes now. What the fuck?
It's almost like he can't believe he's scoring a knockout or something.
It's just they get so emotional when they fight. It's the reason they're pumping their chest. It just gets so worked up. You know what I mean? It's just, and because he fights so emotionally, and you can tell he's an emotional guy by the shit he fires off on Twitter. It says without thinking. He feeds off his emotions, and he fights off his emotions. So if Fury was smart, I would get in that kid's head and get him so angry, get him off balance, throwing haymakers, just trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
That's one thing Wilder does do when he's throwing. When he's throwing Wilder, his footwork's everywhere. He's just off balance. He's square on. So, but is Fury in the condition where he can make him pay for that? Because he looked a bit. His punches were quite slow in his last fight. I mean, I'm just hoping he can put a bit more snap on his shots because Wilder's going to see most of them coming.
Maybe he can, and he's just hiding it. There's a reason why. Maybe
I think what Butcho said, I wouldn't put that past Fury. That's the sort of thing he would do. Show Wilder 30% what he's got, and then come in a different animal altogether on the night.
Well, let me tell you something. If that was 30% of what he got, that's only 30% of what he got, and it's possible he can beat Wilder.
Yeah, exactly. That
you know what I'm saying? He will beat Wilder because 30% that I saw in that ring, I say Wilder beats him. I can see Wilder giving him. I mean, I can see Fury giving him a fight.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Wilder winning.
Yeah.
But if that's 30%, and that means he can give another 70, no, he'll blow him away.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the right hand, what does Wilder have? I mean, do you see Wilder
agree.
outboxing Fury
No,
for now?
no.
You know what I mean?
Wilder's not going to outbox Fury in any sort of way, even the shape Fury's in now. It's not going to happen. I'm just worried that right hand's going to land because, you know, Fury's hard to hit clean. Very smart defensive. I mean, one of the best defensive fighters in the heavyweight division, without a shadow of a doubt. I just think
Even the best boxing ability that I'm sorry, Stu. Just
No,
one
go
more
on.
point. One of the best boxing fight that I've seen Wilder in was against Bermain Stavern, the first fight. Even that boxing ability that he had in that fight is no match boxing wise for Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury's he's gonna have to knock him out. I think, like you said, Bucho. What does he have besides that, right? Maybe the jab, but then you can start timing that jab, right?
No,
if he just jab, if he's fucking jab throwing overhand right, you could time that. He has to knock out Fury, and like I said, I think I said in the last show, I don't think this fight is gonna go either two ways. Either Wilder's gonna knock out Fury, or Fury's gonna expose Wilder. He's just gonna expose him finally.
Finally, he's been exposed.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'll give you my opinion. I'll give you my.
What I mean is like lose. I mean like lose this time. You know.
I'll give my prediction now. I think Wilder stops him, eventually catches him, like Stu says. I think Fury will stink up the place, get in his head, but eventually, once those legs, a couple of years of good coke and some, malt liquors kick in, and then he's gonna get caught with a shot. Eventually, he'll get hit with one of those rights, and for all his bullshit, that dude's got a cannon for a right hand.
Let's not forget that Steve Vern actually went 12 rounds with Wilder.
Yeah, first
he
fight,
did get knocked down in the third round or something like that, but he managed to survive. So if fat ass Steve Vern can actually last 12 rounds, then I think Fury has a good chance as well. If he keeps on moving, he gets to keep moving, man.
I think
that's the key. That's the key.
I think with Stavern, he was just playing with him, man. I think I was just paid off for him to not finish him off because he's been finishing up every single one of his opponents. I mean, what do you think that's going to look in the casinos?
Yeah,
just think about it.
Stavern was conditioned. Fury's not as good condition as Stavern. So Stavern was just fighting regularly and not like drinking or taking drugs.
So where's this?
I think Deontay Wilder hurt his hand, if I remember right, in that fight. That's probably why it went 12.
Right.
His right hand.
I think that's another reason.
They always have excuses. Listen, the thing is this: Wilder. What worries me about Fury versus Wilder is Fury tends to hang that left hand low because he's expecting to roll with the right hands. That being said, when Klitschko did manage to let his hands go against Fury, he managed to land a couple of right hands over Tyson Fury's dome, and Wilder's right hand doesn't have to land on the chin necessarily. All he has to do is land on the top of the head, and he can take a guy out. So that's what worries me when Fury drops his left hand and tries to roll with the right. There's an opening there on the top of his Bigfoot head to get wobbled at the very least.
By the way, they're going to tell him to aim at his chest, just throw punches at Fury's chest. Someone who's good defensively, just wing him at his chest, hit him. And when you hit that hard, no matter where you hit him, it's going to hurt him. Hit him in the arms, get him hard. A few good Wilder shots to his left arm is going to be hard for him to cover his face.
That's right.
Arms start getting heavy. The Rocky Marciano style, just beat the body and the head will follow.
Were you going to say something before you dropped off?
Yeah, I was going to say, oh no, shit, what was I going to say? God
we're talking about Wilder taking him out, taking Fury out eventually.
Yeah, I just think that's how that fight was going to go. But I thought I was about to say something else. Wow, short-term memory loss. God damn, weed kicks the fuck out of you.
I think it's about Fury. Fury has to keep on moving because I was mentioning Steve Vern actually went 12 rounds with Wilder, so maybe that.
I believe you said fat ass Steve Vern. That those were your exact words.
Fat ass Steve Vern, man.
Oh yeah, no, I was asking. Oh, that's right. Thank you for reminding me, Bucho. What I was going to say. Where do you guys think this is going to take place? To me, that's very important.
Well, it looks like Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah. Vegas, huh? So it's going to be Wilder's first time in Vegas, and Fury's first time in the States, right? No,
second time.
Second time. Okay, but all right. and it's going to be a pay-per-view. Wow. So what do you guys? What's that?
I was just thinking, you know, that he's fought once in the States against Cunningham, and his trainer Peter Fury, his uncle, couldn't be there because he's not allowed in the States because he's got a criminal record. And I reckon that could be one of the main reasons why Fury let Peter Fury go. You know, because no one in the camp's ever talked about it. No one knows why. That could be one of the reasons that Fury's looking for big fights in America, and he can't take his trainer with him. So
that's huge.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
What do you think? What do you think it's going to do for numbers, guys? Just guesstimation. Pay-per-view numbers.
Under 1 million.
Yeah, a little bit under 1 million.
If it does over 3, that would be absolutely insanely good. I mean, that's especially today's standards. So I would imagine between 3 and 5 is what they're hoping for.
Well, Showtime's going to do a good promotion, I guess, right? They know how to set up.
Wait, 3 or 5? Jimmy, you think 3 to 500K?
100,000, yeah, 3 between. I mean, I'm saying that's what they're probably hoping for, between 3 and 500,000 pay-per-view sales. I personally don't know what it'll do.
That's a success.
Absolutely.
They did that.
Their first-time fighters. I mean, heavyweights by and large should just automatically draw numbers. An American heavyweight champion should be pulling down millions once they hit pay-per-view status. The fact that they're hoping, I bet, just for 500 is a testament to how shitty he's been promoted, how horrible his opponents are. I mean, let's be honest. The fact that it's taken a Brit to come in and put his name in lights in Vegas, a U.S. fucking heavyweight champion who's held the belt for 3 years, the green one.
Let me
3 years.
Let me ask you guys a question,
Yep.
Jimmy. Now that you're here, somebody brought this up yesterday. I believe it was Low Place. So Low Place did one of those live stream hangouts, and he's saying that this is a terrible fight, Wilder Fury. How many of you guys think that this is a terrible fight?
I don't think it's a terrible fight, but I think Gypsy.
Yeah, he thinks it's like I think from what I got from him that Wilder will get no credit if he beats Fury because Fury's fat, old, and just out of shape and all that.
I think the Gypsy King would kind of kill it with his elusiveness. Might not be as entertaining like Parker and Joshua, but if Wilder catches him like how Jimmy is saying, which I think probably would happen, and he might take the win, he might get the KO. But I can't doubt the Gypsy Kid, man. I can't doubt that guy. I don't know what he's going to come up with. So
I'm just curious how much partying he does after this paycheck. Right? He's going to whip it up. This is probably his last one.
A lot of people are saying that's why Frank Warren's took this fight, because Tyson Fury is the sort of guy that could be out of boxing by the start of the year. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
You know something? And I definitely agree with that. That's a scenario, Stu. But I also look at it as, I think you were the one that it was somebody on this panel that said $15 million for Wilder, $10 million for Fury. You know something? Right. So I was looking at it the other way too. Heyman could be like, you know what? This is our cash out fight right here. You could be looking at it as that way too.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Fuck all this. You got $15 million. I get my cut out of that. That's a nice paycheck for me. Time to cash you out.
Yeah.
Man, that's insane.
It could be both ways.
That's insane, man. That's insane that I've said it before. Deontay Wilder should be a bigger star than what he is now, man. This guy hits like a mule.
It's embarrassing, actually.
It is, man.
To be a heavyweight champion. I mean, let's be honest. He's got personality for days. He's got that story with his daughter. You know what I mean? He's not been promoted. He's been the heavyweight champion for over 3 years, and he's never fought anybody. I mean, he fought his best opponent. Let's be honest. I would love to know his real age is Ortiz, and that motherfucker's 48 if he's 40.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, and that's his best opponent.
Now, if I'm 45, and he looks that much older than me, I'm gonna say he's at least my age.
Yeah, no doubt.
What is it? What is 75 Matrix?
I think he's around 46, 47. I heard rumors from people who live in Miami, the community, Cuban community, that they say he's 48. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, he has the face.
Hey, fucking Ortiz was at the Olympics. Ortiz was at the Olympics with Jesse Owens, wasn't he?
He was in the 1988 Olympics.
I tell you why Ortiz lost that fight with Wilder. He didn't have his cane. That's what.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he needed that cane.
We had that balance going on.
No, he wasn't allowed to take his blood pressure medicine, so
he was suffering from arthritis.
Hey, but Jimmy, you probably missed this. But we were talking about Wilder, how he's all crazy. He acts very like unhinged. But now that he has that Fury fight, he looks more relaxed and smiling.
He's gonna get paid.
Yeah, exactly. Because also he's getting that fight that he could never get before. Now he's
Which
out
could
there.
make him more dangerous. That could make him more dangerous. It could. I mean, maybe like he's like, let me relax. Let me just be me. Let me focus on, man, if I get this, I'm getting a $15 million payday. What if I beat this dude? What if it's a $30 million payday for me?
The only problem is he loses. He's losing tens of millions of dollars.
Exactly. Not maybe he's gonna go into the fight nervous, man. It's like big fight. He's gonna be like under the lights. Yeah.
But when you say he loses 10 to 15 million, Jimmy, what do you mean? Like another fight?
Oh, because
maybe with Joshua?
Well, yes, Josh. He'll say if Joshua wins, right? Say Joshua beats Povetkin, he loses to Fury. He doesn't have a belt. There goes that bargaining chip. That cuts his purse almost in half because now he's just a titleist. I mean, somebody without a title fighting Joshua. So he's not going to demand that kind of money. I'm sure he'll still ask for it, but he won't get it. He probably, if he lost and Joshua won, he's going to lose half of what he would have normally made.
Yeah, both fighters are fighting for that Joshua big purse, I guess. That big fight.
And Joshua's taking on my thing because the harder opponent.
Yeah, I agree. I think Joshua's taking on the better opponent in terms of being active, good resume. You know what I'm saying? We got to give Povetkin that. He has probably the best resume. I mean, okay, he got a loss. I mean, fuck, when you fight everybody, you're gonna lose, man. Like he lost. The only person he lost to was Klitschko, Vladimir in his prime. So his resume is pretty good, man, and his pedigree. So I think he's the better opponent in terms of who Joshua and Wilder are fighting.
I don't know, man. Now that people told me that he's not 6'4", I'm starting to doubt whether he can beat Anthony Joshua.
6'2".
I know.
He's listed as 6'2". I don't know. He could be 6'1".
Well, BoxRec usually tends to exaggerate somebody's fighter's height, but and promoters do that.
Oh yeah.
Sean Porter's 6'2" in BoxRec, isn't he?
Now you said Low Place has still got I thought he was off social media. Didn't somebody say that or?
No, I don't know. He might be. He might be like I think Twitter kicked him out. I don't know, something like that.
What happened? Was showing dick pics?
Is that what it was?
I don't know, man. Time was. I heard some shit about dick pics and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Well, no,
apparently.
I don't know.
It was a long time ago, right?
But he
because that motherfucker would tweet some fucked up shit, man.
Yo, he was weird, man.
He tweeted some weird shit. Adonis Stevenson's the fighter of the decade. The dude hasn't fought one in 3 years.
Yeah.
If he wins this fight, he's the fighter of the decade. Oh my God.
I'll just put it this way, man.
Adonis Stevenson was his god. He worshipped him every day.
That's what I'm saying. If it's like, you know what I mean? You go to an insane asylum and you get the fucking news. I mean, let's be honest. If Low Place told me the fucking it was sunny out, I'd have to open the window to check. Because the shit that comes out of that dude's mouth, and you say, at first you kind of giggle, okay, he's just fucking around. And then you realize he's serious, and it's like, all right, we're surrounded by a mental case. Let's go. Time to walk.
Yeah, that's why he's not on the show anymore. It's just...
Well, the fact, you know what it is? It's the fact that he gets so passionate over boxing, and we've talked about this before, how he'll get so passionate about boxing, and then you're thinking, well, because to him it's like a crusade. He goes, I'm the only one speaking the truth, and I go, well, are there more important things in than boxing in life? Why don't you apply all that energy and put it into either trying to do some social issues or something instead of boxing? Like, who the fuck he thinks he can save boxing? No, I mean, I'm telling you, that's why that guy, when we put him out to pasture, I told him, listen, you're gonna come back. You're just gonna let things cool off a bit, let people forget a little bit about you, and then you'll come back. He couldn't let it go. He would come into the chat room, he would troll, he would like something. At that point I go, all right, this guy can't handle the pressure. He can't handle the pressure. So.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Other people as well.
He can't what?
You would have to question. Oh.
No, apology. What did you say?
Is somebody got their fucking phone hanging out of the open car window? That hiss is driving me crazy.
Matrix.
Yeah, Matrix. I mean, with the fucking air conditioning and the cooking naked and stuff like that. I mean, come on, man.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a jerk. I just couldn't hear nothing. I just heard hissing.
Yeah,
listen.
He's like, can you hear the wind?
I'll tell you what.
I don't hear it anymore.
Play that noise for half an hour. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Okay.
Hey, listen, guys. Just real quick. This weekend we do have some boxing. We have on ESPN. We have Raimundo Beltran taking on Jose Pedraza. I think this fight is very evenly matched on paper because Pedraza can fight a little bit, and Beltran in these last couple of fights has been on a down spiral a little bit. He's not the same guy he was about 3-4 years ago.
That's what his wife said too.
Whoa, jeez.
Hey, recognize. You know about Cotto? I knocked him out yesterday, bro.
Here we go again.
I knocked him out yesterday, bro.
I appreciate that.
So it's easy.
Wait a minute. Which Cotto? Did you knock out Evangelista Cotto or did you knock out Miguel Cotto?
The son.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I was. Yeah.
Come on, man. You see that?
Oh, you knocked him.
Oh my god.
But hold on.
Hey,
Boxing style. When you say you knocked him up, boxing style. Boxing style. When you say you knocked him up, did you mean like you got him pregnant? Is that what you're saying?
I said I knocked him out, man.
Knocked him out. Okay, my mistake. It's an honest mistake.
Yeah. Well, I could do that too if you want.
He was originally out.
I think boxing.
Hey, did you guys read that? Did you guys read the article about Andre Ward saying like he's happy that he's retired, but he might come back, but you never know. He's acting like his career is so perfect, man. Like, are you fucking joking, man? You left.
He's retired to put on more muscle. He's using to put on more muscle and come back as a heavyweight.
Because when you're retired, you don't have to worry about being tested. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
He's big too. He looks big.
Yeah, so he's gonna go. He's gonna fight Bellew probably in England, and he'll make a boatload of money. And the whole fucking black community will fucking talk about how great he is, but they'll never talk about how he fought. He would only fight unless he had every conceivable advantage. The refs, the gloves they fought, where they fought. It just please.
What he did to Goosen was the worst, though.
Wait a minute. Wasn't he supposed to fight Usyk Bellew? That shit never happened? That little agreement never took place?
I don't know, because they're talking about Usyk against Bellew, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that's supposed to
I'm just saying it'll be. I shouldn't say Bellew. You know what it is? Is a kid on. I think you guys follow him too. That dude Ego. He's always tweeting it out. So he's always tweeting about him talking, and it makes sense. It'll be that type of person.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Stand that dude.
I just I'm not a fan of Andre Ward because of how he treated the sport. I don't like anybody who has to have everything his way, and then when it doesn't work out, there's nobody to blame. I mean, you reneged on your contract, what you did with Goosen. You had to have everything your way, and then when everything was your way and it didn't work out, and you weren't a success that you thought you should have been, and then you turn around and you blame race because of a racist media. Really, dude? The racist media wasn't making you hug people. It wasn't making you make fights so fucking boring that I'd rather watch paint dry. You know what I mean? I just hate that type of shit.
I mean, you guys are talking about him like that, but Terrence Crawford is the same shit, man. I just realized it recently.
Terrence Crawford is better than him.
Well, he's better than him in certain aspects when it comes.
I've heard he's got a very bad attitude. I was told that by someone who's met him more than once. Said he's got a big chip on his shoulder.
Exactly.
Crawford is definitely rough on the edges. He's from the street. You could tell. He has a very cocky attitude. That chip on, like you said, chip on his shoulder. But in the ring, he's much more exciting.
Whatever makes him exactly better boxer. He's great. He probably switches southpaw orthodox better than anybody right now. But before he finally checks out of this world, he's going to have to fix whatever that is, because I'm telling you, he's the type of kid when he's retired. You know what I mean? It's people aren't protecting him and making sure he does stuff stupid. That same rage that's got him slapping auto body guys is going to happen.
I'm not talking about his boxing skills. Boxing skills, he's obviously better than Ward, but I'm talking about his personality, what kind of person he is. I think.
Oh yeah, personality. Yeah,
I think that's why they're best friends, man. They're friends like crazy. Like
I think he's worse than Andre Ward. If you ask me.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. They're pretty much. If let's just say one day Terence Crawford fights somebody that is considerably better in skill than he is, what do you think he's going to do the same shit Ward is doing? He's probably going to do the same illegal shit. He's already doing it.
Yeah, I think with
small dosages.
I think with Andre Ward, I don't think he's a bad guy, really. I just think he's a whiner, and his fighting style's horrible.
Yeah, he's a whiner. He's a guy who can't help himself. He needs to complain about something.
He's dirty.
He's a narcissist.
You ever met that person? You ever met that person? You get him a job, you hook him up, everything, and they still complain. Like, that's Ward. That's Ward.
I don't want to talk to somebody who's trying to calm me.
He had everything put on a plate for him, and it still weren't enough. So that's the sort of guy. But I don't think he's not the sort of guy that swears or.
Terence Crawford is the kind of guy. Terence Crawford is the kind of guy that you look out for him. He's gonna try to convince you he's the best ever. But at least he's gonna try. He's gonna try to convince you that. Ward is like, no, you gotta accept that I'm the greatest ever,
we gotta read some comments from. We gotta read some comments from the YouTube section. I mean, from the chat room. Fucking John Gonzalez, who's the best at going from 0 to 100 real quick, like apology message. Here's what John Gonzalez said about Andre Ward. He says, Andre Ward should Chris Benoit himself and his family. That's that's even going a little too far. I mean, this guy, fucking John Gonzalez. By the way, people.
I'm starting to think. Benoit didn't do that. You know, I'm starting to think Benoit didn't do it.
Yeah, you told me about that. You told us about the conspiracy theory. That's.
You know something. You're not the only person. I don't know anything about that situation other than he did himself and his family.
Yeah. He did himself.
That I know.
He did himself.
We'll do a second renaissance on that shit.
That's the it's a second.
It's a steroid.
Somebody, just to Stuart's point, somebody that follows the whatever it is, MMA or
WWE,
whatever, WWE. Excuse me. Right? They think that he did himself in.
Well, that's because they're super fans.
There was something behind that. There was something behind
right.
I do.
But that's
when you look at there's some strange shit behind that one. Why they'd want to set him up, I don't know. But I just don't believe he did it. Even the way he.
Well, it's like that guy. It's like that guy that killed his and shot himself twice in the chest. Because he was talking about the whole 9/11 situation.
Bro, it's probably like family issues that back in the day he experienced, and on top of the steroids he's been taking.
But imagine shooting yourself twice in the chest to kill
yourself. I mean, steroids can fuck you up bad, bro. There's brain.
No, I agree.
Jim would know.
Who shot himself?
Well,
Benoit, whatever his name
Chris
is.
Benoit, he
wrestler.
He killed his family. He was a wrestler. He was obviously on steroids. He was he killed his family. I think his wife and his kid, then himself.
When was this?
Oh, this had to be about 10 years ago.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't some recent.
I was older than that, man. I was like in fucking elementary school when this shit happened.
Yeah.
Well, how old are you? I mean.
I remember it was like elementary, middle school, bro. I was like, I'm 30, bro.
I thought boxing style was older. I thought boxing style was older than that. But listen, the thing about Chris Benoit is that he did have a brain trauma from all those fucking poundings.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Listen, the theory, we can talk about it in Second Renaissance also. By the way, I was also talking about, people in the chat room were talking about bringing somebody who has been exiled from the BDA universe back into the fold. And I was thinking about who should we bring back? Because listen, we had one kid named Jack Alter who was just insane. He didn't know how to behave himself, so he was disrupting the show way too much. He had to go.
Well, whose name? What was his name?
You know what? Yeah, okay, Jack Alter. Jack Alter was his name.
Little kid, right? The young kid?
Yeah. And then there was, of course, Lopez, another guy who can't behave himself. Then we had Hamed, who really just behind the scenes was wreaking havoc with everybody. He seems to want to destroy everything that's already been created. I don't know. Some people are like that. And then of course we had Michael Stott, who
oh yeah, Stu's favorite.
He was what?
Stu's favorite.
Oh yeah, Stu's favorite. But you know what? To be fair to Michael, he wasn't as annoying as all the other ones I mentioned. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should give one of them.
You forgot to recognize.
Oh, jeez. Oh. But yeah, the fact that John Gonzalez remembers Jack Alter, that means John Gonzalez was there from the get-go with the BDA podcast.
I don't know that name.
Well, you can check out the archives if you want. I mean. Oh, and then we had
the beginning. I want to hear that. You have it in the archives?
Yeah, it's in the archives. You'd have to look into the old shows. And by the way, one of the things that we were trying to do here at BDA Boxing is we're always trying to innovate and we're always trying to do some things, but the LDBC already beat us to it. I don't know if you guys heard that there's, what's his name? AZ Sports and 89 Boxing or something like that from the LDBC. They're getting a movie together. They're gonna do a movie about what it's like to live as somebody from the LDBC. In other words, the social problems that come with being an LDBC member. And I have the trailer right here. It's a bit of a clip.
I'm sorry, I thought it was movie muted.
Is this straight out of LDBC? Is that the name of the movie?
You guys want to see the clip or another time? Should I play the clip or another time? Because you can find it on.
Play it, man.
Play that shit.
All right, so watch your screen and you should be able to see it there. Let me play it right now. Oh, hold on a second. What's going on here? All right.
Are you sleeping with her husband, Nathaniel? What? Are you sleeping with her husband? I heard what she said to you. For weeks you've been spending time with him. He's been over here during the night? What the hell were you doing? Are you gay?
The dick was so good that he just couldn't pass up. So all that week, yeah, I'm tearing that ass up. Cause he loved to ride him and he loved to suck him. And after I was done, I let my homeboys fuck him.
All right, so that's a clip of the movie right there. Oh, what the fuck?
The trailer?
Yeah, that's the trailer.
Find you stuff, man.
Bro, it's fucking beautiful.
That's from the LDBC. That's like it's called LDBC Life or something.
BDA, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see that rap music you played? Was that actually Broner?
Was that actually Adrian Broner? Oh yeah. That, by the way, you reminded me that soundtrack is going to be provided by Adrian Broner.
No, I still don't believe Adrian Broner sang that.
Check it out on Instagram, man. Why would I lie about this stuff for entertainment purposes? Come on. I think you got to give me a little more credit than that.
Maybe.
Yes, you would lie for entertainment purposes.
Oh man, I guess you're just gonna have to do your research and find out for yourself, man. But yeah, the trailer is out there. That's just a sneak peek of the LDBC. I think it's called #LDBC Problems. So check that one out and see if it interests you. But Bucho, we got to do something like that.
Where's that whole camera net?
What's that?
Slut. That slut Cameron, where is he at?
Slut Cameron? Oh, Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron.
He went on vacation and he came back looking like Gary Oldman in True Romance. Apparently, also
he looks like a post-Vietnam vet, man. Like
yeah, that's.
It was that fucking Ace Ventura, wasn't
it? Yeah, he was wearing the Ace Ventura shirt. No, I think what happened was he got a job too. He got a job and then he went on vacation and then he was almost going to get married, I think. So that just took a lot of his time.
That one went pear-shaped again, didn't it?
I grew up so fast.
Yeah, that's
True Romance. Is that the one with Christian Slater and Brad Pitt?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah, okay. Good flick.
Yeah, written by Quentin Tarantino and directed by Tony Scott, the late Tony Scott.
Oh yeah.
That was Quentin Tarantino, that fucking leftist puke.
Well, that came out of nowhere.
I tell you what, anyone that thought putting that Pulp Fiction scene, you know which scene I'm on about, don't you? I don't want to go down that road.
Right.
You know which scene I'm on about, innit? Yeah, any man that thought that would be a good part for the movie, he's got to be a sick bastard anyway. I hate that Tarantino.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention the N-word, his use of the N-word in that movie. which was just ridiculous.
About when that guy fucks that guy up the arse. You see, you
no,
made me say it, man. You fucking guy.
Yeah, no, I didn't make you do anything. I didn't make you do anything. You said it, and the way you said it, like, oh yeah, he fucked him up his hot ass.
What was the name of that? They had a pet or something, Mute or some fucking creep that they kept in a box.
The Gimp.
They said go get the. What was his name?
The Gimp.
The Gimp. What the fuck?
I could not stand looking at Quentin Tarantino's face, man.
He makes good films, bro.
I swear to God.
He makes good films. Like him or hate him, he makes good films.
He made 2 good movies, man. That's it. Jackie Brown was shit, and then
I'll say
Kill Bill was.
The Hateful Eight was pretty good.
Yeah, Hateful Eight wasn't bad.
I liked it.
Jackie Brown was dog shit.
Garbage, man.
Fucking dog.
Every director has bad.
Kill Bill, what a load of shit that was.
Yeah, Kill Bill was horrible. That was like a comic book. It was ridiculous. I mean, if you listen to Unbridled Violence, it's almost like a video game. It's so ridiculous. I don't like movies when the guy jumps on a sword. That's all I needed to see. So the 106-year-old guy standing on a sword and carrying on a conversation in midair because he learned how to do push-ups on his fingertips so he can break fucking physics. Fuck out of here.
Wait, which movie are we talking about? Which movie was it?
I like Hateful Eight. Good old-fashioned fucking shoot him in the... you shot my dick up, you bushwhacking ball shooter. That movie was funny.
Jimmy's into Scorsese movies, man.
That's my man, Scorsese. Like all Scorsese movies. Goodfellas is the best.
My dick comes off, I'm crying. It's going to be a bad day.
Lena Bobbitt cutting her fucking dude's penis off and throwing it out of the car window.
My goodness, that's way too much for me, man. But yeah, that scene.
Remember Lena Bobbitt back in the 90s? That bitch who cut her husband's prick off and drove down the street.
Right. Yeah.
Criminal.
Absolutely disgusting. Who would do that? Yeah, that's the music Pavel plays when he's got the women in the basement, right before he pulls out the Gimp.
I tell you what, though, the left really ruin these movies, don't they, for their political agenda? I mean, I watched Ghostbusters again the other day, the new one. Horrendous, weren't it?
Oh, why would you watch that?
Yourself like that?
Why would you watch that?
Right. Star Wars. All the saviors were women. Women were saving everyone. The resistance, everybody. Do you know what I mean? And that woman was she was going fucking
Stu,
toe to toe. Fucking dark.
Stu, are you a sexist? Are you a sexist, man?
Hold on. Stu, she was beating Luke Skywalker in a sword fight, a lightsaber fight. Like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah,
it didn't make sense.
2 days training. I mean, she flew the Millennium Falcon the first time she's ever been in it, better than Han Solo ever did. Do you know what I mean? So
then she actually saves Kylo Ren at some point when they're fighting those red guards, whatever they're called.
She's fucked him up about 3 or 4 times now, man. That guy can't get a win, you know.
I mean, it's just unbelievable, man.
I saw both the movies. I saw both the movies, the first 2 new ones that came out. I fell asleep in the first one halfway through.
Oh.
And the second one, I thought it was kind of... I understand the feminism thing. I'll let that shit slide. It's a movie.
By the way, I think...
it was okay. It was not great, I'll tell you that much. It was like almost average.
Man, I used to love Star Wars, man. Star Wars was one of my favourite films. I had all the toys, man. If I still had them toys, that'd be worth thousands. I had all of them. I love that film. I used to watch it all the time, and they've ruined it, man. They've ruined the brand.
The original 3, you mean?
Yeah, I'm on about the original 3. The 3 after that were terrible. I didn't like. I didn't like them. I mean, I thought they really went the wrong way with Star Wars. And then I like the storyline behind the new ones. It's just the fucking it stinks of left-wing politics. You know, they're more interested in putting their political agenda than making a great movie.
Hollywood is so fucked, Stu. Ben Kingsley, who's an unbelievable actor, the guy who did Gandhi, right? He's doing that movie on Epic now, whatever, streaming it. It's he's playing Eichmann, the Jew hunter. You know, the Jew hunters had to pick him up. They went and grabbed him, and South America, 1961. You should have heard an interview I just watched. He must have spent half the interview apologizing that he's playing Eichmann. Well, you know, I didn't want to take the carry. I'm like, wow. So that's what it's like out in Hollywood right now. It's ultra social justice warrior PC pukes running around destroying careers like it's a fucking modern day McCarthyism. You know what I mean? Like you say the wrong thing, bang, and it's become insane and it's infected the rest of society.
Most of them are pedophiles anyway. So
hey, wait a minute. You can't go around throwing accusations like that. Not on this show. Not on this show, baby.
You guys know that role of Tropic Thunder that Robert Downey Jr. plays, the Iron Man guy that plays the black guy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like he was terrified of playing that role, bro. Like he was scared that like maybe he'll get a lot of backlash for playing.
He did. He did catch a lot of shit. He did catch a lot of shit.
He still caught some, yeah. Like, but
oh yeah, he still caught it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be black and get up on stage and talk like a white guy, and everybody claps their hands, make fun of the white guy. But you get up now and you're fucking saying about anybody of color and forget about it. It's become, they want to suck the life out of everything. Listen, I like racial jokes. I'm Italian, so I'll say Italian jokes because that way I don't get anybody's panties in a bunch. But come at me with them. I want to laugh. It's funny. Usually when there's, what do they call them? They're, you know what I mean? When it's, I don't even know the name, but it's usually got a bit of truth to it. You know what I mean? And you just, it sucks. You can't even tell jokes anymore. The left wants to suck the fun out of everything.
Oh, they want to suck more than the life out of something. But listen, the point is this. You can't just keep on watching the same old thing. People are putting pressure and the industries are realizing that you can't just change things 180 degrees. Like, for example, I don't play video games. But somebody was telling me about how there's a new video game, one of those World War II video games, and these liberals took over completely over the design of the game, okay? And what they did was they put women soldiers, female soldiers, in the video game. So, of course, in World War II, there were no female soldiers in the battleground, but nevertheless, in this game, they decided to do that. And they also had disabled women fighting in the video game. Well, lo and behold, I'm not kidding.
I was muted.
No, I'm not kidding. And then
it's disgraceful. I saw the trailer.
Lo and behold,
were they hot though? Were they hot?
Well, obviously, any woman that's missing a limb is hot.
The next
Come on.
step is gonna be fat, ugly women as main characters in leads.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can want to hear a fucking joke about something my buddy did? I was out with this kid, right? And he's just an obnoxious kid. He's been in and out of the can and shit, but I'm crazy. So he's trying to get used to everybody PC and shit. He's like, so you came to like watch it. And we were at line, we're grabbing these coffees at this what was it, Mama's Donuts. We was in that movie with, I don't know if you ever saw that Lost Lives in Lowell High on Crack Street on HBO. It was at Mr. Donut place. They show up. So we're in there, and these fucking college girls were just talking, slamming everybody, right? And so he goes, "Excuse me, girls." And this was, I knew it was something bad was gonna happen. He's like, "I noticed, like you're shitting about how guys talk like I find you attractive. So how do I say like I want to dump a load on your chest without getting you offended?" I swear to God, I was fucking like, "Oh, you fucking pig!" Oh yeah, they flipped out. They asked us to leave. The fucking manager said, "What did you just say to them?" I just turned around, walked around the door because I knew it was coming.
Oh, they loved it.
But the way he said it so seriously, like, how do I let you know that I want to dump a load on your chest without getting you angry? Oh my God!
We've got to the stage where us just waking up in the morning offends someone. Do you know what I mean? It's just
right.
And that's why I enjoy living where I do, because I'm not surrounded by snowflakes getting offended and wounded all the time by my opinion. And that's the one thing about living where I do. You know what I mean? I couldn't live in a big city like London where everyone's fucking watching what you're going to say and waiting to be offended. Fucking joke, man.
But
it's not just race. It's not just race. It's fucking. It's feminism. It's.
Wait a minute, Stu. Wait a minute. So if I was living in Siberia and there was a lot of snowflakes, then that's not okay with you?
Oh, come on. Listen. Boxing style.
Stu, what part of England do you live in?
Boxing style. My 1-year-old son wants his joke back.
I am a victim of masculinity. And
listen, the thing is this.
See,
the thing is this.
See, I think that's what I mean. That guy there is saying he's Mexican. I mean, if that's
Hey, BDA Bucho, you guys are up in Canada. Can I ask you guys a question?
Oh, God.
What the fuck is up with Justin Trudeau?
Okay, now wait a minute.
Holy fucking shit. Will somebody just give that dude a tampon and tell him to fucking go home? What an asshole.
Everybody, I mean, I can't even describe.
Guys, come on, people can't.
Bucho, can you straighten Jimmy out on this issue, please? He needs a little straightening out, all right? Bucho?
What are you talking about? Yeah?
Straighten Jimmy out on this, because he thinks Justin Trudeau's a bad guy, and I want you to correct him.
No, of course not. He's the great prime minister, and he's doing his best job to maintain social cohesion.
That's right.
We love Justin here, right?
Yeah, he's a credit to people kind.
Yep.
That's right. Oh, wait a minute. Are you being sarcastic?
We love him.
All right, listen. This stream, I don't like it. Now, when we can make jokes and everything, but if you start criticizing Justin Trudeau, I'm gonna take offense to that. By the way, well, fuck. What was the other one? Oh yeah, apology, man. This is your favorite clip. Hold on a second. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
She's cuckolded me before. She's had me eat her out after she's done fucking another guy.
Yeah, that's Apology Man's favorite.
What did you say?
No. Fuck
you want me?
No way.
Do I have to replay it?
Oh my god.
She's cuckolded me before. She's had me eat her out after she's done fucking another guy.
She says...
yeah. Wait, hold on. So he ate the cum out of her vagina.
I think that's what he's getting at.
Somebody else banged his wife. I mean, that's just...
That's the greatest of snowflakism.
That's the greatest.
All
right, listen, guys.
Got that guy and literally slapped the masculinity back in him.
Yeah, I don't think that's
possible. There's a dude who wants to suck dick who just is he's going around it. He's taking out the no, seriously, it's a loophole. He's just taking out the middleman. He just wants to get to that fucking spunk like it's the antidote.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That's fucking up. That's all he is.
That's secondhand sucking right there.
Exactly.
One licky dicky. He just wants to get down to the fucking cream spilled center. That fucking creep.
I think we need a third. Apart. We need a third world war to toughen this generation up. But look, guys, this was another BDA Boxing podcast. I think we can't end it on a higher note than that, right? Come on. I mean, what else are we gonna do?
I agree.
So keep an eye out for the fights on Saturday. Raimundo Beltran versus Pedraza, and they're gonna try to throw the winner in against Lomachenko before he takes on either Pacquiao or Mikey Garcia or somebody. Mr. Coxie says, guys, thanks for the early show.
Wait. Since I'm off boxing, so for a week, so Beltran's gonna fight? Who is he gonna fight this week?
Jose Pedraza.
And they're gonna announce who Davis is taking on Twitter next week.
Oh, no kidding.
Okay.
That
should be interesting. I'll be watching.
Other news. Also, all other news. They finished the. I think they already did the bracket for the 118-pound tournament, and fuck, I forget who it is exactly, but it's Inoue took on one of the weakest, I think, guys in the tournament, and Nonito Donaire, I think he's gonna be fighting Josh Warren. No, not Josh Warrington. What's his name? The other UK guy at 118. Anyway, when I get the names,
he's fighting Burnett, isn't he?
Yeah, I think yeah, one of those guys. Fuck, I forget the guy's name. Anyway,
Ryan Burnett.
I think that's it. Anyway, we'll talk about it in the next episode, guys. Thanks again for joining us.
See you guys.
Guys, be safe.
Take it easy.
See you guys.
I want to thank Stu for having joined us. I want to thank Boxing Style, Apology Man, Jimmy, Pavel was here earlier as well. Recognize the Matrix was here as well. Boxing Abstract, yes, that's what I said. And who else? Who else am I missing? We missed somebody, didn't we? Somebody that came in and stepped out real quick.
Thanks everybody who donated in the chat.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Don't be shy. Keep on
Or you can also help us out on with Patreon.
Absolutely.
You give small donations there.
And don't forget to check
BDA,
out...
We're doing the phone call show, right? The call-in show.
Well, we gotta work on it. Definitely. So for the moment, the schedule for the podcast is Wednesday and Sundays.
Yeah.
Wednesday
and
Sundays.
I can do some in between sometimes.
Sure, why not? Just to get people's predictions and all that. And we're working on big stuff here. Don't forget to check out LDBC, the movie. What else? What else? Check out our Patreon page. Don't forget you can download these episodes via Stitcher and Google Play,
Spreaker, iTunes,
iTunes,
Google Play Music.
Yeah, we're just confusing people at this point with all the platforms. Yeah. But listen, guys, thanks for joining us. I want to thank everybody that was in the chat room as well. I want to give a shout out to Jonathan Vickland, Mr. Coxey, Azzy, Michael Paleko, John Gonzalez, the Fight Scout, Hawker Mustang, Mean Machine Mash, Koran, Bread. Who else do we have here? Hold on. The Fox Strikes, of course. Mean Machine, I already mentioned him. Mark Funk. Who else was here? The Punisher was here as well. Kyle was here, coming from the planet Kyle. Apology Man was in there as well, throwing stuff down. Uncle Burnt Apostrophe. Brandon White was here as well, I think. Boxing Killers as well. And many more people. You guys know who you are. Thanks for being on. I'm running out of time. Cy Rilo, the Quags was here as well. Canelo give me my fight, obviously can't forget him. And many more. Guys, thanks again for joining us. I don't know why the music... I'm trying to play the music here.
Oh, it's not working.
What? What'd you say, Bucho?
It's not working or what?
Well, it's not that it's not working, it's that it's not working, if you know what I mean.
I see.
I guess I got too much shit open.
Sing a song.
What was the name of that fucking... Anyway, listen. You guys can leave. I don't know what's going on here. But...
Nobody leaves.
Nobody leaves. No, people gotta be able to leave, man. What's the matter with you? Yeah, it's just a glitch here. This is how it's gonna end. It's like a ruined orgasm. You ever see those fucking ruined orgasm pornos that I used to direct back in the mid-90s? This is exactly what it is. Oh, here we go. Alright. Thanks again for joining us, guys. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And again, thanks for your cooperation. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care.